serving you up the #1 morning show in SVG. OMG in the morning with the real Batman Bing, Daniel, and DJ Shady.
Only for hot girl in the place. Them want to wind them ways. Tell them forward in a ace. But the bang bang embrace, yeah.
Early morning low, she get it good from she rise. But put it on so good and make she shake all she ties. Smile upon her face, me know she pleased with this eye. Coming around to make them gyal roll out them eyes. Early morning low, she get it good from she rise. But put it on so good and make she shake all she ties. Smile upon her face, me know she pleased with this eye. Coming around to make them gyal roll out them eyes. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there. Go down there, wine and go down there.
Make sweat a drip off of me body, yeah. Oh, you're full of chat and you can keep up with me energy. What a epic night of it, embedded in your memory. Little bubble up, it treat it like a felony.
What you gonna do when there is nobody that do it better than this reggae guy? I can do this every morning, every evening. I just screaming straight back to sunrise.
Bang 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 bang, yeah. Just get in a the position and boss one. Never you forget this is your mission. If you take a girl, man, you want it in a condition and boss one. Take a sip and lose your inhibition. Cause when you dip in it, you start my ignition. See you swinging it and this is my ambition. Me give it the little love, make you turn and twist. And me give it the speed, make you balance and grip on.
Oh, don't care. No, coming out nowhere. Don't care. She living with the man, she out there. Doing it with no fear. Top boss, bad, baby, a top class. Jump up, let's say you're upstart. Jump on me, you're top notch. Every girl a chop. She called for me, that hard. When me touch it, tell her friend them set the boy bad. Your love brace against the wall. Me, baby, till your ball. See down on me, Wally, pag a lot of road, a man over me. Globally, me love you totally. Say she retry, but she not love nobody. Me love every girl, but me love your body. I'm in love your baby because you're so happy. I'm in love every time we link up. You know me think up. Nobody knows. Bend down, bend down, bend down, bend down, bend down. All that you love. Turn round, turn round, turn round, turn round, turn round. All that you love. Come it's left on beat. Tell me where you feel. Bend down, turn round, turn round, turn round, turn round. Run for your run. Me just wanna if you know your body, mommy. Got your body good, you wanna Tony. Figure soon like come and conquer cheap army. Thicker than me granny porridge. Gally to a we know that we are a fee party. Go on your head, me gala up on your forehead. Be willing to watch you, me no have to go carry. I know you wanna tell me you broke one rib. Don't stop wine, stop wine, stop wine. Don't stop wine, stop wine, stop wine. Don't stop wine.
Bounce pan it, move pan it, girl you fi groove pan it. You are a beautiful human, I love you. Groove pan it.
OMG in the morning.
God knows I love you. Don't rush, you're more than sex. God knows I love you. And girl, when you say yes, you large and your back, you fi arch. Pretty from Blackberry, just a make touch. To me 1 mile make it scotch. If you is a freak, girl, you like a patch. Goodie, play with the bat and the ball, cause she should be bubble pa me. You can't bubble pa me. Them a say you red, me no care, me no beer, me no scare, me no Scooby, you flip. That what do me? Nothing can stop with babes. Love it when you spread, not mayonnaise. Me inna you like this day and age. For you no boring, so me stay amazed. You are a beautiful human. I love your sense of humor. It's fun to be around you.
Good morning.
Don't rush, you're more than sex. God knows I love you. And girl, when you say yes,
You know the thing come down from you hear the big sound. You know my international something. Straight from the 8-7
level 6 to give you vibes like this is like
106.9.
and gyal a wine. Shawty drop it low and bring it back up same time. Watch the gyal them get wild for the yardy lifestyle. You know the vibe. I'm ready. I'm ready. Outside, you've been doing a lot. Inside, show me what you got. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Watch her stand up in a dance of flaunt Louis Vuitton and them just cut off our cable. Watch the one in a the skirt her rock to her bird. Somebody quench the thirst car. Who know fit up it? Who know have a bad habit? Who really out of pocket? Stop from spending where you not have when you not got it. Money not full up, but you are money pull up. Time for you look it, hey, you don't give up. Care your shoes, but you don't care for your youth. I chop bomb your list and every girl like it's a shoot out. So that still so drink from every table in a dance talk show. Me a tell her every pan knock them dead. Me now fi young, them a real life struggle. Oh, no love money, so I no don't like work. As you work your money, them beggy. Pick up your body, bit to no fi drop it, no look good. Every man you touch your body, click him. Stop from where your friend draws them licky. Clean when you're out and you pick it.
Yo, shut your mouth with a little bit of money. Shut up. Life is sweet, like me dip it in a honey. Chick a girl with the bread a car and the bread a money. When she meet him, she love him, cause that a bigger money. Some man start hype to them make a piece of money. 1 mil Jamaican, that a strip of money. Give me woman beer money like a Bob give it her money. When they go a Zimmy party, have your liquor money.
Bad man no drink off a man table.
But see ya, I saw them thing unstable. Ha, orange juice with them gal nable. Broke pocket wanna carry down label. Boy, move on yourself with a little bit of money. Keep out your mouth with a little bit of money. Yo, hold out with a little bit of money. Go over there so with a little bit of money. And I got the money now, and the funny money. Look we feed up the money when you see coffee. Strike force, you feel know, and a little bit of money. Life is sweet, now me dip it in a honey. Contract in a money. Some man gonna see ya run down bigger money. Them say ya easier and a quicker money. But we prefer tea for my little sister money. Money run like champs, yeah, that is a money. Get pull over, officer money. Tell me how you love smoke and I have no reason money. You want see fire? Ramp with sizzler money.
Bad man no drink off a man table.
But see ya, I saw them thing unstable. Diddy, grape juice with them gal nable. Block pocket wanna carry down label. Papa rubber band, bossa rubber band. 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 So me papa rubber band, a bag a gal a come along. Travel with it, and me never trust a man. Before me, mother rather broke a bank. A ban government and we never. From me know say you never bust a blank. We march with the lock up a camp. If a gal want leave, then it better you go long. A 10 more new gal a come along. When they chop a them a chop with the chop green lad. Say them a chop with them a chop green grass. Gold chain and a chop some chop jean shots. 8 bills cash for the god sneakers. Big up Painland, Animax, Field Dogs. Every girl say they got hot meat sauce. Pagans can't stop me cause God speed pass, now the block these fast. I'm a papa rubber band, a bag a gal a come along. Bust a rubber band, a bag a gal a come along. I saw me and you never know, I saw me and I saw me and you never know, I saw me and
The real Batman Bing, Daniel, and DJ Shady. OMG in the morning on 106.9.
Monday morning, trying to ease that Monday morning blues with some liquor bit of money. Drink what? Grape juice from girl belly button.
It's too early
What?
in the week.
This
Too early
is
in
what the
the
man
morning.
said.
Hear the line that
That he chose.
That's the one that stood out to me. When we say shut your mouth with your liquor bit of money.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, that's the most outstanding one.
No, man. Nah. Drinking
Well,
grape
good
juice
morning
and
to you,
champagne
Mario.
and orange juice. From people belly button.
Morning to you if you're locked on the Facebook, if you're listening on radio, wherever you're locked on from, you're watching on YouTube. What else is it? Twitch?
YouTube, Twitch, yeah, IKTV's
Morning,
Facebook.
morning to you.
IKTV. We all over the place. We in it like salt. We in everything. What?
Okay. You good? You all right?
Yeah, man.
You have enough? Is it the water?
It's not the water.
No.
I'm going through withdrawals after you guys prime me up.
Friday.
You guys prime me up.
It's that.
That don't get you hyped.
Okay.
That
How
mellows
was your
you out.
weekend, Shady? Shady, how was the birthday weekend? It was good.
But the weekend was a blast. I enjoyed myself for the weekend.
Yeah, you
Thanks
look,
to
you look
everyone who
like
wished me happy birthday. I should be calling in today, Mario.
the patron.
I'm Boss
done?
Cecilia. Nah, I'm Boss Cecilia. That's us.
So us, that's us
Really?
Patron.
Okay, cool.
Us Patron.
Friday again. We're gonna see if Mario could stand.
Yes, Mario birthday
If
is on
Mario,
the 22nd.
yeah, and he won't be
22nd,
here,
yes,
so
yes.
we have to celebrate.
That's
so,
right. We'll see how that goes.
Only drinks this
Things
time.
going on. There was all this.
Somebody really has something to say. You wanna go ahead before we could even? In the meantime, while you decide, let me say something quick about District Stairs.
Yeah, tell them.
Check them out if you're renovating, if you're building your dream house, man. If you're updating, they supply high quality engineered hardwood flooring, luxury planks, laminate flooring, a wide assortment of stylish trims, your wall, floor tiles, and tiling related products. They also have your railings, post pickets in metal, stainless steel, wood, and glass for your staircase. They offer personalized selection and a shipping service from Canada. You can contact District Stairs on WhatsApp at 289-200-7649 or search for District Stairs on Facebook.
Hey, it's prime time to bundle your Digicel postpaid account with Digicel Superfast Fiber Internet. Bundle up today and get 50% off your monthly postpaid bill. Plus, you automatically get a chance to catch your share of $30,000 cash weekly. New fiber internet customers also get 2 months free when you sign up. Digicel Prime for the summer.
For the summer, the
You know what
whole
I'm saying?
summer.
The whole thing, not just one piece, you know. And speaking about the summer, the Boom Summer Fest is on. I'm gonna let you know what's going on with the with the celebrations. I'm happy.
We got some people on Facebook. Should we say good morning?
Roll call.
Curl and Edwards, morning.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Bert. Bert, how are you doing this morning? Oh, yes,
Bert.
But I had to get something to you. I keep forgetting. Lennox, good morning to you, Lennox.
Yo, Lennox.
Sylvia, good morning to you. Oh, messaging
Morning, Mary.
from the gloomy UK. Oh, man.
Tonya and Antonia.
There you go, Antonia.
It's locked on already. Good morning. We have a call.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Mario.
I was going to say Charles.
Charles, hey, morning.
Good morning. Daniel, morning.
Morning.
Your first word should be please, huh? Every time you call.
Big DJ. There ain't no problem, you know. Please, man. Please, thank you for taking my call. You know, Shady. Boy,
Yes,
I don't
sir.
want to throw it out the bag. I'll leave that there because Mario looking for a lot of things, eh? Mario don't want to go back to Trinidad right now, you know. Mario enjoys Vinci life and he can't wait for his boat to come. Because when his boat they come, it's double whammy he looking for in the studio. So, guys,
Yes, tell me. I know you have the comments.
Let me say good morning to Slider. Slider had me last week really thinking, and then I finally realized what Slider was talking about, and it is so true. Mario,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not a man who reads the Bible a lot, but I know something that always keeps me going. It's one thing I know, and it's always said to honor your mother and your father,
Right.
so that your days will be longer. Right? And if you grow up disrespecting your family or whoever around you, excuse me, your mother, your parents, you know, and you get children and don't teach them the right way, they are gonna go the same. So when you are accustomed harassing and beating up on your parents, you don't really get no understanding of life. Your life will be gone a different way because the father don't tell you anytime you do that, there's a spell gonna cast on you. And Slider make me think about that, you know. What is going on now? Daniel, did you hear about you heard that video on Curry's up at Curry's where the lady was videotaping? You heard what she said during the protest?
Oh, yeah.
You heard that?
And I was actually looking at a photograph from the vantage point that was opposite.
Right.
I was like, I wish I could see the person. I could zoom up and see the person's
person's face, you could see it. Not in the video that she actually said that, But there are other videos that you can see, because where I was standing, right, I had 3 people call me and they noticed that I was videotaping too. And they asked me if I have footage of those people up there with the face. I say, yeah. So they asked me to send it. So I send it to them. Because when you have people who's supposed to protect Wayne St. Vincent as they sign up for that, to serve and protect, and you have people where we reach to a stage now that you are kicking people, actually kicking people, plus you're beating and all sorts of things, and you could have a worker on the top of a roof with a police officer up there too, and I don't know who the rest them be, and telling you, talking and videotaping and saying, yes, kick them in the this and that. I don't want to use that word, you know. That word is too powerful.
But the police lady said it wasn't her who said that.
No, it's not the police woman. It's not the police woman. But she is, you hear old people that say, Shady, let me teach you. You're known by the company you keep. Right? And all of them was up there enjoying it and celebrating and jumping up. You know? Had it been me or Shady or one of them kicking somebody for them, they think they were up there jumping up, they'll all come down and kill you. We must not give what we don't like, you know, because all of us have parents, all of us have family, all of us go to work, we leave our parents home, our elderly home. We need to go back and meet them in good care, good health. We don't want to come out and brutalize people because you have your people home too. And you don't do those sort of things, you know? So what Slider was saying is that when he was talking, I think Mario was asking me who he's speaking about. But Mario, if you really go back and check, it's only people who trying to make the way and supporting what is happening. And every time Slider call or I may call or somebody else may call, you hear they say, oh, these cry babies. Well, we love to be cry babies because when bad is happening and things happening, the cry babies have family that they love, and we always have to speak out. We have children, and we always have to speak out when it's wrong. And if you can't come out and say you're wrong, then you worse than the cry babies you're talking about, because people who call to talk about things that is happening, you know, they're trying to, and who's talking the real reality, these same people who call people cry baby is trying to shut them up because they don't know nothing good. They already throw their future away and their life away by beating up on their mothers and fathers, especially fathers, and that is a bad thing in life. That is a bad thing in life. No matter what your mother or father do you cannot. There is no way saying that you should beat them and raise a hand to do them anything or take advantage of them, because at the end of the day, you are going to go downhill. You don't have a family. You can't raise a family.
So
you don't know
you're supposed to stay and take the abuse? Is that what you're saying?
Me? Let me tell you something. I got some licks from my father. If Mario meet me down the road and see me doing something wrong or stoning somebody, and Mario talk to me, and I ain't listening, Mario catch me and cut my tail, and I go home. When I reach home, book it and show, because Mario will tell my father, he ain't asking you again, it's more licks again, I got some licks by people just complaining, and let me say, I thank my father very well. He didn't kill me. He didn't break my hand, not break my foot, or nothing like that. And for all the experience that I have been through with my family, who knows my family?
There's been discipline and there's abuse.
Well, I was not abused. My father whooped me because he figured that was the right thing. He whooped me with a belt. You understand? And I grew up like that. When you do something wrong, you get licked. Those are the old good days. And today, look at the youths that we're having today. They have that same opportunity of a parent talking to them and giving them a little flagging and thing to set them on the right track. Our youths today, look at what is happening, you know. And me and you, Shady, we couldn't go in tongue and begging and our parents see with them time. No, we used to have to satisfy whatever little we have. So Mario, I just say it because I give that some thought, and I have to say that because, you know, when you come and you read and people making their contribution about what is happening and so forth, and you with people living in their houses, like for instance, you're sending back people out in the country, in the red zone and in places there. People, houses, shovel, break arm with ashes, hurricane there up, and you check the people in houses to make sure. Then put in their house asleep, hurricane blow, bam, the whole thing just collapse. Because the ashes done weaken them already. You know, if a lot of rain come, it could flood and slide down a whole set of ashes out there and cause a lot of damages.
But ain't no difference in the green zone when it comes to hurricane.
I'm saying we don't hear. Okay, we don't hear any low up in the green zone. We ain't get all them kind of heavy ash and thing on top of our house and them kind of thing like shady. You know? We ain't get all of that. It's a lot of ashes up there, you know, brother.
True.
So when these things happen, you know, let me say good morning to Slider again. Slider, you
inspired Charles this morning.
You know, no, well.
All right. All right, Charles. Thanks a lot, buddy. You as well.
And don't take advantage of your parents. You know, that is a bad thing.
Yes,
for anybody who I know does do that. Have a good day.
You as well, buddy. 7:22 is the time. Thank you for joining us, Facebook. Wow, so you gotta contextualize the video. I wish I had the video to play, but
I can't even remember what was being said. I can't remember what was being said either. But speaking of the whole protest, I was just reading a story from Eyewitness News. Okay, here, listen to the headline. It says cop who allegedly stopped juniors abusing protester transferred. So I'm going to read a little bit of it. It says a police officer was reportedly transferred from the Special Services Unit to beat and patrol on Tuesday after he allegedly intervened and stopped his colleagues who almost pushed a protester into a drain in Kingstown. So he was transferred. The one who tried to stop them was allegedly transferred. Opposition leader Godwin Friday told Parliament on Thursday that he was reliably informed that the incident occurred between Carres Building and Building and Loan Association. Friday said he was told that Black Squad officers were seen pushing a protester dangerously close to the drain and threatening that person with injury. He said that another officer who recognized the danger and the unnecessary use of force that was being exhibited went and told them that this is not what is to be done. And then there's a quote from Dr. Friday. And you would think that this would be the end of it, but I am informed that the officer then went back or attempted to go back to barracks, was confronted by the Commissioner of Police, who asked him or said that he heard that he was suggesting, I don't know the exact words, from what I'm told, that the police officers were abusing protesters, and that if he thinks that his mother calls into Nice Radio regularly, and that he comes from Beckway, that he can do essentially what he did. And then that officer, with immediate effect, was transferred to beat and patrol.
Oh gosh, we're gonna decompress that. We're gonna have the bad man joining us and a whole lot more. It's Boom 106.9. Keep it locked on.
It's back to school with Coach Optical, and some items are free. Free! Get free children's lenses with the purchase of any frame. Get free eye exams and follow-up visits. And 4 free spectacle cleanings. Also, if you pay with Ready Finance, you can shop now and pay $0 for 30 days. Plus, parents and teachers receive up to 30% off. Save big with Quartz Optical and get ready for back to school with ease. Call us today at 457-8100 or schedule your appointment online at www.quartzoptical.com. Terms and conditions apply. Offer good while supplies last. Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
As we face these challenging times.
Stop what you're doing! We kids have something to say! Run the track! Kids who know drink, let's go! It has 9 flavors that rule! Strawberry, chocolate, banana, cherry berry! They all taste so cool!
Nighttime come, sunset strong. Man can't sleep when day is long. Hold head high, squeeze eye tight. Sunset strong to welcome night. Ola do, ola day. When you feel to break away, you could smile at the end of the day, cause it's sunset strong tonight. You sure to smile at the end of the day. Drink sunset strong tonight.
Life would be so much easier if we could predict the future. And while we can predict weather patterns, we can never predict the damage it may cause to our home, property, or its contents. Don't spend your time guessing whether everything will be okay. Get covered by GK Insurance EC to ease your mind. We're an insurance partner who provides coverage because we care. Follow us on social media at GK Insurance EC. Agents in St. Vincent, Priority Insurance.
The Real Batman Big, Daniel, and DJ Shady. OMG in the morning on 106.9. Batman Big, Daniel, and DJ Shady. OMG in the morning on 106.9.
And before we get into it, I've got to say, condolences. Good morning and condolences to Evandi. We are saddened here at Boom, the passing of your dad, Arthur. Arthur passed away last night. That's also Ipa's brother, I think. So,
sending you hugs, Evandi. Mm-hmm. And we are all very much here for you to lend our support in any way that we can. And condolences to Ipa as well.
All right, let me see if I can bring the bad man into the stream. He'll say that we bring him on a slow note, But there you go. All right, let's see.
That's okay, guys.
I'm not hearing him. Is your mic muted?
No, you should be good.
You're not hearing me?
Yeah. You were just kind of breaking up.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, actually, with regards to Ipa's brother, people would more know him as Ipa's brother. He did pass away on Saturday. I think it's Saturday night, and not last night. if the information that I receive is correct. Yeah. But whether it's, but I know for sure it's not last night. Um, Good morning to the family, and condolences going out to you. All right. To Ivandi and to Ipa. Good morning to the family, who lost their brother, his brother, on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, I think it is Saturday night. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning to you guys. How are you doing this morning?
Morning.
Morning, we're all right, man.
Real bad man.
Morning, Shady, with your mixing of your damn juice all in the morning. You get diabetes. We go in them kind of mix this all in the morning. How was your birthday, buddy?
It was really good. It was really, 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 really good.
Yeah, I heard that you having the dog. That's what they say. You're playing the dog.
I ain't get my gift from yours yet, though.
You saw me yet? Well, you're like a child. Did you see me since?
No, I haven't.
So how you get it?
You supposed to make.
Hey, don't hold your breath.
I'm not holding it.
Cool.
Have you seen me? Did you and I pass?
It doesn't matter.
Dan told me not to hold.
Did we cross paths? Speak up. Speak up.
No, this is we wasting time because guess what? There is no gift.
I
Okay?
didn't say he was getting a gift. I said I had something for him. Not a gift. It's not anything that is wrapped up.
I don't want no flowers neither.
No, you're not getting
No
it.
roses, no roses.
You're not getting flowers either. Or maybe I should have thought of that.
Or you're going to re-gift him? Like, did you find a way to preserve your flowers and then you're going to give them?
All the time, I do flowers all the time. I'm serious. I let me tell you guys something that I do. And I told my barber that the other day, and he was like, "Wow, he's got children too." I give my daughter, and I swear I'm not lying to you, because I give my daughter every month flowers, like bouquet of flowers,
That's nice.
every living month. And there's a reason why I do it. Right? When you hear the reason, you may find that thing. But every month, she receives flowers, like delivered, like they come and they deliver it, and she expects it now. And I guess it doesn't have the same impact on her as it did when I started doing it anymore, because she know it's coming, and yeah. But I know deep down inside she's used to it now, and she's not a thing. But every month, every single month, my daughter gets flowers. Yeah.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. Guys, I heard you all speaking about something with regards to police officers, right? And I want to touch on that this morning. Hopefully I'll have enough time before comes to come in. But before I deal with that, there's a matter. There's something that I really, really, really want to talk about, because last night when the rains were coming, I was so worried to the point where I was there wondering, oh my God, these people have children. We all saw the videos. I don't know if you guys saw the video of what is now known as OTR over the river, Sandy Bay, Overland, and those places, where on the weekend, when the rains were coming, the amount of water that was coming down, it looked as if the people were living in the middle of the river. The devastation of what came down on the weekend. If you have not seen it, please go and see it, or at the end of the program, I'll find some time to send it to you guys. It is crazy, the destruction. And I saw a piece by Kenton Chance, which really would bring tears to you. With a particular, it was just crazy what is happening with regards, and I don't know. I know that the people who came down because of the volcano and was staying in shelters and all of that. Some may say that the people who wanted to move out of the shelters. Some may say the people who wanted to go back home and all of that. But and it's not a. I'm listen. I ain't talking politics this morning with this issue. I'm talking the issue. The government have a right and responsibility to protect its people from the dangers of what is happening up there. Don't say any. Listen to me. The same way we can block off areas and say you can't go past it, the government have a responsibility to take care of the people who are living above the dry river in the danger. We hear them talk about pyroclastic flows and all of that. Listen, they know what is gonna take place. Yet we allow the people to move back there. And it is so crazy when you see the amount of water, and it appears as if all these houses were built miraculously in the middle of a river. It is crazy. I'm sure if you open up your Facebook now and you scroll through, you would see a video of it right now. It is crazy, crazy, crazy what is happening. And then the rains came again last night, and you know, my heart bleeds for the people above the dry river this morning. Anytime a little bit of rain comes, you see that image. When are we going to take a decision to deal with the issue of these people who are living in the pathway of what is coming down out of Supreme Mountain? What is coming down with the water, the amount. I mean, I know I'm not a scientist. I don't know what the hell going on up there. All I know is that people are living, it seems, in the middle of the river. It is dangerous. And it comes down and it goes straight out into the sea. It is dangerous. And we're waiting until someone, a child, a family, somebody get damaged, or worst case scenario, somebody gets swept out into the ocean and we can't find them. Before we do something, this has been happening how long now? How many weeks now? This has been happening. We've been seeing these videos coming, going around.
And the water looks like it does look, because I'm looking at something on Facebook right now. It does look like the houses are actually in the river.
In the middle of the river. Mario, that was since Friday night. Then there was another one on Saturday night, which a video came out on Sunday morning. And I'm waiting to see the videos from last night again. It is dangerous. Listen to me. I don't care how much the people say they want to go back home. We knew. And I hope that we're not going to be talking in the past tense when we lose someone or family or something like that. We knew that this situation was going to happen. Prime Minister Gonzalez spoke about this situation several times with regards to what is up there to come down. Yet we allow the people to move back into the area. It is dangerous. What are we waiting on? Please, what are we waiting on? We're waiting until the worst. So yet it's gonna be another weekend. This is gonna go on. The sun is gonna come back out for another couple of days, and then it's gonna disappear. And then the rain is gonna fall again. It is horrible.
Wow.
I wish we could get the video so that we could put it up on our Facebook Live so that other people can see. I'm actually looking to see if I can find one on social media. So if you have it,
I saw one day.
Yeah, I'm trying to download it from Facebook so that I can get it up onto our live. Yeah.
Okay.
This situation is really bad. It is really, really bad. And we have to be the voice of the people this morning. Some of these people, they don't even know, because we've got people who are old people, people who very, very, very poor people living in the middle of what is happening there. Very, very poor people. People who do not have any way to go. And listen, in fact, not all of the people who were there really wanted to go back, but then we made a decision that we had to start doing work on the shelters, in particular the schools, where some of these people were housed at. So they had to go home. And we are not they had to, we allowed the people to go back there when we knew the hurricane season was going to start, when the rains were going to start coming. The heavy rains is what is happening now. We're going to start coming. And we knew what was going to start happening. Come on. These people are poor people. Man, I'm not hearing anything in the background. It seems like if... Yeah. These are poor people. When you see the way these people are living, it is sad. Please, let us see what we can do for these people. Let us move these people from this area. We need to cut off that area. Why are we allowing people to live in an area where we know it is dangerous? The government know it is dangerous for people to be living there. They know. So what are we doing? If they know it is dangerous, what are we doing? Every time the rain falls, we see it happening. What are we waiting on? We're waiting on a family or somebody to die? They know it is dangerous where the people are living. Move the people them. Find some way to put them. Put them in a school, in a community center, in a learning resource center. Find some way to put the people. Their lives are more important than than doing work on schools right now. Well, we know that the schools, they have to open because they've got exams coming up tomorrow. So they got to go into school. We got a host there. Learning resource centers all over the country lock up. All of them lock up. Why can't we move the people them and put them there? I'm getting very emotional because, I'm going to say the wrong thing, so I'm getting very, very emotional.
Relax.
You're not going to say
relax.
the wrong thing.
Take a drink. We've got the council already.
But
and we do have to.
I will reserve that until after the council.
And we do have to take a quick break. All right. So breathe, and we're gonna come back. Boom 106.9. We come back with Plain Talk, Jomo Thomas, as we unpack all that Bing just said.
Turbulent times teach us the meaning of dependence. We are all dependent on each other to see each other through these trying times. We are reminded to care. GECU introduces our Care Loan, CARE, comprehensive assistance and relief for essential workers, an offering of financial reinforcement to those who care for us. The GECU Care Loan allows for all essential healthcare workers to borrow up to $50,000 to get themselves back on a firm foundation. The GECU Care Loan offers the absolute lowest rate for consumer loans in SVG at just 8.5% and gives you the flexibility of a full 7 years to repay. For more details, visit any of our branches nationwide or our main branch in Kingstown. Your job is to take care of others. Our job is to take care of you. Offer ends June 2022. Terms and conditions apply. So come on into GECU because GECU cares for you.
Hey now, I just get a free $50 gift card to top up my phone.
How you get that?
I get vaccinated.
So they're paying you to get the shot?
Nah. I not for sale, eh? Nobody can buy me.
So what is the $50 all about?
It's just a thank you for deciding on my own to get the shot. I would have taken it anyways, but it's nice to feel appreciated.
So if I decide to take the vaccine, they can thank me too?
I feel so, but you had to go to grenadinesinitiative.org for details.
Grenadinesinitiative.org? Thanks.
Live for free, drink for free, drive for free, talk for free with Hyrule. You can win it all.
That's right. Free beer, free
rent, free utilities, groceries, and fuel.
Check the bond for your 3 for 10. Look under your crown and win. Everything is rent, free. Utilities, groceries, fuel. You can win it all.
Enjoy Ice Cold Hyrule 3 for 10 and check under the crown for the Live Up stamp and win a $200 cash voucher instantly.
Hyrule. Everything is free.
There's over $100,000 in prizes to be won. Rise up S3G and win with Hyrule. Terms and conditions apply. Promotion ends August 15th. Must be 18 and older. Please drink responsibly.
This is Boom 1069.
Yeah, it does. Look, I'm good. Look for me. Fear you know in my thing, no. Get to youth, go for the goal, we been a win. Fear you know in my no. If you're living a bonus, you're still a queen, you're still a king. Fear you know in my seems like a man stay free to help a human. Give them a rule, if them want a Cuban. Take what they want and gone. Me not sure if them a fish or prawn. Yeah, you're highly blessed from your have God in you. Friend, we sell you out, you want how it go. Is a reason why me name the unruly boss. Send them a screw me rough, me never soft, no. Dominant, prominent, them can't stop me like a monument. DMG, the permission, estate of me not paying a rent.
Plain talk. Plain talk with Jumo Thomas.
So much things to say right now.
On OMG.
All right. It's time for us to hit the clock because the billable hours begin now. Council, how you doing?
Not bad at all, Mario. Bing.
Morning.
Daniil, everybody.
Morning.
I am good. I was listening to Bing. And he's almost in a tizzy. So I hope that he would have some things that he wants us to run with because, quite frankly, I was locked into some work and didn't get a chance to address my mind specifically for a presentation this morning. So if you have something that you want us to go with, let's go.
Council, I have so many things that I want to talk about this morning, and I think they would fall right in your lap. In fact, it's strange that when I scroll through social media these days, you're the centerpiece of attraction. And I'm at least happy. Mario, make sure whenever he's talking, we keep the logo on the screen, because because we see it. I'm seeing his face all over Facebook from people all in Grenada. So make sure you keep our logo on the screen. Council, this issue of that's one, what is happening with the people who are living in the so-called in the red zone, that the government has said that we the people in the green zone are not allowed to go into, but yet we have people living there. We allowing the people we allow the people to move back there and live there. Now, when the rain come, the water that's coming down, we all know the power of water. And I don't know, Council, if you've seen any of the videos, but it appears as if the people are actually living in the middle of the river, that they've built their homes in the middle of the river.
So Bing, so why is this, why are you all irate about this now? For one thing, the issue of housing in St. Vincent, particularly housing for poor people, that issue has always been problematic in the sense that many people who are very poor, who depend on government for largesse, are from time to time offered places to live. Governments may give them land, or some politician may tell somebody, yeah man, you could build there. And it is not planned. It is a very disorganized, unorganized situation, because the hope is that somebody would say, well, boy, Mr. So-and-so, politician so-and-so, give me this piece of land, and consequently, there may be some allegiance to the party of the person who has given this piece of land. So we have a lot of people living in riverbeds across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In fact, if you recall what happened over the Christmas Eve of 2013, people may think that down in Bucament, that it is all safe. The river seemed to have a course, and therefore a whole series of homes were built down there. And one night, nature decided to take back what it had given. And nature is like that. Nature gives and nature takes. And on 2013, that night, all of those homes down there, because that is in the riverbed. So we should have been well alerted after that event. And I'm sure there might have been events in the past that should have alerted us to this very difficult and serious problems which we have as it relates to where we are building homes. So this, what I saw in those videos, are not really surprising to me. What it tells us is that we have to plan much, much more seriously and much, much more carefully. Unless we do that, as you correctly said, when I switched on, somebody is going to be washed away one of these days, or some family. In fact, in 2013, some people died, if you recall. A fair amount of people died in that very Bucament region. So that is a problem that we have to deal with. But it has to be done in a way that is wholesome. It has to be done in a way. And part of the problem to Unabing is that we have developed a culture in St. Vincent where if you need anything, you can't get it from your family, you're almost sure that, look, I can ask the government, and if I'm properly aligned, I may get a place. There was a time when ULP built no income houses and so on and so forth for people. Much of it had to do with the party's effort to win persons to its program and policies. And nothing is wrong with governments doing that. It just means that when we are building, we have to build in a place where people may not become casualties of nature. And I think what we are seeing there is the effect of us planning poorly, and people are allowed to place their homes in areas where nature comes back and take what it had given. And some people may be hurt, homes may be destroyed, and hopefully we wouldn't get to a situation where people are killed or injured. But I think that's the problem.
Council, that area has been designated as a red zone. Am I correct?
Well, I'm not sure where the video was from. If you know where the video is from, well, any place above the Rabaca River,
yes,
is red zone. Any place beyond Chateaubriand is red zone.
But I don't understand how we have a red zone in which we're allowing people to live. Then is it really a red zone?
Well, what do you mean? People had always lived in the red zone.
No. Since the eruption of the volcano.
Oh.
That area has been designated a red zone.
Right. But I think what is happening, the scientists are now telling us that the threat is receding, and consequently people are moving back. I think the government policy is still to have, I think they are winking now on persons who move back into the red zone. So people are going back to their homes because the conditions to a large extent in many of the shelters are still intolerable. I met a lady, two ladies actually, who said they were living in the Belmont school last week, Wednesday. And both of them were reporting that they have been in that school since April 8th, and they were still sleeping on the floor. Wow. And they said they had gone to Nemo a number of times, and they have spoken, they have seen their parliamentary representative, Mr. Montgomery Daniel, only once in the time that they had been there. And conditions are really bad. So people are still I presume that people are making the choice that rather than be in these less than comfortable conditions, they may well go back to whatever they have, wherever that might be. And if that takes some of those people into the red zone, I think people are opting to go back. Part of it too is may well be the government's policy to let people go back because they want all of these evacuees out of the school so that things can return to a sense of normal. It is not, I don't understand why people would still be suffering from those basic things, because the last pictures I saw that Nemo had mattresses packed up to the ceiling, and why people are still sleeping on the floor and not being given a mattress is just beyond me. But those are the things that I think that are driving people back into their homes, wherever it might be. But you're right. As far as I'm aware, no one are no one is legally allowed to go back into the red zone. At least to live, people make forays there from time to time to clean up and to prepare the place for the eventuality when they're told to go back. But I don't think that the green light has yet been given for them to do so.
But there must be other options of places where they can stay apart from schools. There must be other places that can be designated to have people stay until those areas are more or less livable. Because as far as I see it, if we continue to get hurricanes or heavy
Heavy rain.
rainfall, it's just going to be the same thing, and each time it seems to worsen. So I think, even though yes, you want to allow people to go back home, it's their choice. You should advise them of the seriousness of the situation. You should let them know, listen, this is a dangerous situation, and in the event that you don't feel like you're going to be safe at home, we have different options of places where you can go that are going to be much better as an option for you.
I agree. I agree. I mean, Bing mentioned that there are many community centers and learning resource centers across the country, and maybe the time has come to utilize them. And as he said, you utilize them properly, because so many of them are locked up and remain locked up for a very long time, rather than allow people to risk their lives and their livelihood to go back in these areas. So I am with you on that, Daniel. I think that the government just needs to plan and to plan carefully to get people to go into places that they would feel much more comfortable.
In fact, though, Council, I do not think that it should be given a choice to people to decide whether they want to move back there, because we know, we've heard the scientists spoke about what is up there to come down, and the minute there's rain, what is going to happen. So we know ahead. So why not just don't let the people go there, take them out of harm's way, so that we won't be here speaking about, well, that should have been done and this should have been done.
Well, Bing, you know that in many respects, right? In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, something become a policy, or we are responding to an emergency. So people were ordered out of those areas, and it's now that happened on the volcano erupted on April 9th. We are now July 12th. So we are a little far removed from the volcano. The scientists have said that the volcano is cooling down and may not pose an immediate threat. Consequently, people are being allowed to move back. I think that the decision has to be made as to whether we are allowing people to go back or not. And if we're not allowing people to go back, we need to enforce the policy which allow people not to go back. I saw a video from Kenton Chance some time ago, almost an hour long, where he drove all the way up to Sandy Bay. And even the roads appear not to have been touched. Even the roads appear not to have been cleared. And where the roads have been cleared, there are a lot of gutters in the roads now because of the heavy rains and so on that has fallen since the volcano. So those roads are in really bad condition. And one can only think, if there's so much ash in the road, what the condition of people's homes are and what kind of health problem it creates for them if they were to live in those conditions. I have been saying ever since the volcanic eruption that it is highly probable that in next year or two, we are going to have a tremendous amount of respiratory illnesses in the years to come. But we just have to watch and see, and I hope that the government would pay serious attention to this problem and to help the less fortunate among us to be able to make decisions which would work in their best interest and in their health.
But my thing is, sorry, Bing. My thing is, they know the risk. They see what's happening. So what's the reason then for continuing to allow people? Is it that there's a cost attached to continuing to basically house people? Is it what's the reason?
Evidently, there's a cost. I am not so sure if the government is bearing a lot of the cost. I mean, there's some international assistance that that is taking care of some of that cost. In the end, we can always say the government that mobilizes the money, and that money is it's a finite pot. It's going to end sooner rather than later. I remember in the United Nations there was a plan to raise $29 million for St. Vincent. I don't know how much of that was raised and if we have received any of it, but there's going to be a cost, and the government has to calculate how long it can keep people in these shelters. My information is that back in 1979, after the eruption, then the evacuees remained in shelters for 4 months. The scientists did say to us that these eruptions were much more, they were much larger, and consequently people may have to stay for a longer period of time. But whatever it is, I think we have to find a way to assist people to ensure that they don't endanger themselves and their families.
Council, I think the problem has moved from the eruption of the volcano. We've heard now from scientists that the volcano is. So we've moved from that problem to the problem now of the water coming down and the destruction of people's homes and lives. And you mentioned something there about monies that we started raising with the United Nations. I think it is accountability, because as you just said, we don't know how much money was raised, how much was collected, and where that money went, who spent that money, in which at least give us an accountability of how much of that 29 million we set out to raise that we got. All right, so that's one issue. Another issue I want to move on to quickly, but I'm going to come back to that issue with the river, the river beds and the water above the dry river later on in the morning. There's a video. There's several videos going around with regards to protest action that took place last week, and police encounter with civilians who are protesting. Now, there's one particular video with Kenson King that I saw where an officer.
Who's Kenson King again?
The multi man now. Who this thing now?
Oh, a multi man. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Kenson King was an opposition activist.
Yeah, that's him. I
just wanted the context.
Okay, all right, cool. Just trying to be troublesome. So Kenson King, in the video, there was some sort of standoff, and police was trying to get the protesters to move out of the way so that the vehicle couldn't pass. And I saw an officer put some serious blows on Kenson, right? And Kenson just stood there. When I say he stood, he kept moving back. He didn't retaliate or anything. And it shows too that these young officers, when they get out there, they love to show power. And I read somewhere with the commissioner of police in a separate incident in which they got involved and abused someone. I don't know if it's a woman, and the commissioner transferred these officers to the beat instantly. It shows then that we have a problem with policing and the psyche of police officers, especially the young ones, when they get into the force. I know you have a particular issue in which you've raised several times on this program, where someone was beaten until they became unconscious. I don't know if you saw and if you heard Prime Minister Gonsalves' statement as well about police officers and how you termed it, that police officers not to brutalize
people.
Yes. What's your take on Prime Minister Gonsalves and that response? Because I can give you a number of instances where he said otherwise.
Remember, Bing, Prime Minister Gonsalves Prime Minister Gonsalves has spoken on this issue a number of times. Remember, some years ago, he said that the police officers in St. Vincent are not supposed to read the Beatitudes to accused persons. In other words, Don't go praying to them as in keeping with the New Testament. You have to meet the challenge wherever that challenge might be. When a prime minister and a minister of national security tells that to his officers, he's telling them, you could engage in whatever roughhouse tactics you want, because you are not supposed to make an assessment of the situation. Whereas he genuflects to this whole notion against brutality, and that is what he does as a good Catholic. He genuflects to that point. But you have not seen this government do anything, and I've been crusading about this ever since I returned to St. Vincent in 2004. It has not done anything that seriously tells police officers that, look, there's a penalty to be paid when you brutalize citizens. There has not been a single police officer, apart from the ones that Colin Williams, former deputy DPP, and myself have been instrumental in bringing to the court. There has not been any where policemen are hauled over the coals for brutalizing citizens. Police officers brutalize citizens. Like I mentioned, there are a number of police officers in the force now with a number of dead bodies on their belts, and there have not even been coroner's inquests. Again, I saw the Prime Minister genuflect to the issue of coroner's inquest in the last parliament, saying, well, we put the machinery in place and there should be coroner's inquests. But there's no practical, serious, proactive steps that are being taken to deal with that. To speak specifically to the issue of Kenson King. Now, if a police officer does that to Kenson King in broad daylight, imagine what these police officers do to citizens in the dark, under the cover of dark.
Wow.
And no one says anything. So you can be sure that it's open season on ordinary people. It's open season on poor people. And if you happen to be an activist that is opposed to the government, or you are an activist who is commenting or demonstrating as it regards to a particular issue, you may find that there's a certain amount of reluctance on the part of the police high command to deal with. Because if a police slaps Kenson King is a fairly now prominent opposition activist, and he chooses to slap, and I don't hear anybody saying that he must be arrested. In fact, I saw one particular supporter of the governing party celebrating the slap which Kenson King got. In fact, the person said that they replayed it several times to get a kind of vicarious pleasure looking at him being slapped.
No matter how you feel about Kenson King, his position on issues or not, as soon as we start accepting these issues, they will come around to us at some point, And we gotta guard against these things from happening, because the police will reach to a point where they feel that they've got
open season.
Yes,
open season, everybody. Angela Davis used to say back in the 1960s when she was struggling as a young political scientist at the University of Santa Barbara, when Reagan, who was the governor of California, then tried to arrest her and jail her for the rest of her life. Angela Davis said, always remember, if they come for me in the morning, they will come for you at night. So what is happening to Kenson King today, or to Jamal Jackson back in 2008, or those young men who were shot in their leg about 2 or 3 weeks ago on the Rabaca Beach, those are just symptoms of a larger problem that may come back to haunt us if we keep our mouth shut, simply because it is not me, it is not my son, it is not my father, it's not my brother. We have to be our brother's keepers. We have to speak out whenever these matters come up. And if we do that, I think we will be helping to ensure that St. Vincent remain a place where all of us can live.
And that is why we see actions like what the police did last week in Leyu, in which they rough-handled an individual and fired off shots. And no matter how it happened, what transpired, the way the police handled that matter, it was becoming of the police, of how police should on their duties.
Well,
Very much. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I am quite pleased to hear you come around to that position, because the morning when we talked about it, you seem to have had another position that the police. What should the police do?
No. My position was about we can't be saying that the police should do something about the enforcement of COVID, and that when the police does do something, we have a problem with it. I have had a problem with the police handled the person who they pulled up on the vehicle.
Very well.
That was the issue. Is there anything else you want to add, guys? Anybody still want
to? Good overhead.
Catch you tomorrow morning, same time.
Catch you then. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All it come on, man.
Plain Talk with Jumo Thomas. Boom 1069. We serving you up the #1 morning show in SVG. OMG in the morning with the real Batman Bing, Daniel, and DJ Shady.
Nation boss. Hey, trouble them in a trouble, you know. Where humility is plenty, growth is a must. Nation. When you see me, I so looking like my last year. When I last, me just a looking at my thoughts and pray some things that people don't mean out the past. Now act like some perfect, everybody have them flaws. Long before the COVID thing, done enough for them, I wear a mask, yeah. Watch them kill it as them try go round the bus, yeah. Loyalty come with the cost, and I'll be asking over love in my heart. But anytime your heart too big, my lad, then we take you for a fool, and this is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans, no. I can't do just no girl when remember what she do, man. This is why me not like humans. This is why me not like humans.
Go inside, Father God, I make them fight me so hard.
106.9.
A lucky thing me put me trust in the Lord. Them want me fi dead inna the mag like dog. No make the hope ya work 'cause them get no reward. No make them get no reward. No make the hope ya work 'cause them get no reward.
Cause poor life don't fit me. That's with a year, yeah. Start up my picnic. Me tired for a year, me baby mother them a diss me. Brother I not joking, God have a assist me. Me slinging at the universe. See the blessing come back like a frisbee. You see the money back now, come miss me. No, right now man I go get out, I can get out. One day me I go fly up, but I vessel. Rude boy, me never born for poor. You a liar if you never born before. God boy, me never born for poor. Never thought every day, but the vibes never change. I'm a nigga same way, yeah. Better than pay for press it, man. No ever make a stay, I will stay, yeah. Anywhere you're there. I'm talking every day, but the vibes never change. I'm a nigga. Real dog never sell out. Them chat to people when I get along. A woman know I'm a deal with my day one better than out. Now when I fire money and nothing, that's when it come down to the realest song. When we tell them out, then they had to hold it down. No switch up in a paper, them business for the account. Some go on with some palms, still not around home out. So we know it go on, I could never be a trick. Never talk every day, but the vibes never change. I'm a nigga same way, yeah. Better than pay for press it, for no if I make you stay, I will stay, yeah. I really say it. Anyway. Never talk every day, but the vibes never change.
Wish me coulda tell you I'm perfect, but I'm not. It's me, said one.
Boom 1069 is trending.
My friends are here, some not. Got a couple running with the cops, but just you. Anything at all, me no fear. I'm a don't push drama, just to make it clear.
The real Batman Bing, Daniel, and DJ Shady. OMG in the morning on 106.9.
Hey, you know, you got to line up for these exciting offers from the East Caribbean group of companies, Nuts and Ram. Get a pack of nuts with your purchase of 4 Village Ram. And you can buy 5 and get 1 free. That's for Island Sips. Buy 5 bottles of Island Sips, 350 milliliter waters, and get 1 free. Offer available in selected supermarkets while stocks last. Village Rams, it ain't for no lambs. And Island Sips, beyond water.
And make sure you check out District Stairs for your high quality engineered flooring, your hardwood flooring, luxury planks, laminate flooring, a wide assortment of stylish trims. If you're doing tiling, you can check out District Stairs for your wall and floor tiles and tiling related products. They also have everything you need for your staircase. You can get your railings, post pickets in metal, stainless steel, wood, and glass. Remember to ask about the shipping service that they've got available at District Stairs. You can contact them on WhatsApp today at 289-200-7649 or search for them on Facebook.
Hey, don't forget you can join the discussion. You can give us a holler here at 451-1069 to be in on the conversation live on air. You can also send a voice note 455-1069. That's on our WhatsApp line. And on Facebook, your comments.
Yeah, I'm seeing a comment here and it says, police slap down a mentally ill woman. I don't know. In Union Island, and not a thing has been done about it. It's a bunch of, all right, I'm not gonna read the rest of that. Let me see if I can read some more. Someone says, thank you for the video. Everybody knows the truth, but the language was not. I'm not sure. And I'm not sure about the video that Bing was talking about with Kenton. I didn't see it.
I didn't see that.
I didn't get to see it. But you know, it's always good that you can see things so that you can know exactly, you know, what go ahead, I know you have a call. What they're talking about when you wanna come to your own perspective. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Vera.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mario.
Good morning, my friend.
And good morning, Bing, and me other brother in
Morning, Slider.
Yeah. I'm here listening and some of the comments is really sad. And me say hello to Jomo. I heard them all this one. Concerning going back to the red zone. Do you know a lot of people rather at this present time to go back up there, and if those 80 feet height waste that are in the mountain come down and even kill them at their home, bury them up, they rather that than to be in some of the shelters which become like concentration camp in Siberia.
What?
You think it is easy for your hard-working farmer? A farmer does do a lot of hard work, not like we who just sit down and eat a snack and satisfy. When a hard-working farmer or mason or carpenter or cement mixer, laborer, you can't expect to give them 3 slices or 2 slices of a sandwich and 1 teacup of tea and a little thick, in which a 5-year-old will eat and ask, Mommy, give me some more. And you want to cope with that from morning until maybe 1:30 when you bring in another little bit of food. Get them. These people can't cope on those kind of diet, man. That is why, regardless to what, they rather go home and die. They rather go home and settle in their mind and die than being in the state in which it's happening here. And not to say money is not coming for them, but some psychology is taking place because all of the money ain't coming to one organization in St. Vincent. It's like me and you, Miss Vera. Some people is sending money to you to help some people, and they're sending money to me to help the same people. But I don't want to use mine. So I am depending on you using all. So, like if I am directing all the people to come to you, while I conveniently hold mine, but the thing is coming for the people, and whether it's coming to this organization or that and government organization. All of them spend the money and help the people. Ridiculous that up to now, people still have to sleep on where the coal, concrete, a piece of coal board floor without a mattress at this present time, and you have store. That is one. I could say so much of this thoughtful thing this morning, but I want to go to the other one. Police
Which is
abuse.
the police.
Yeah.
You know, it is said the father sucked the sour grape, and he set the children teach an edge. Sometimes the father he have to go in the village to do the trouble. He send the picnic them. I wonder if you realize that. Some fathers just sit down right in their home and in their office and send their children. And what is going on now, you could see that some kind of individual or individuals really want to push this state to a place of anarchy. You won't tell me that some people inlay you and sometimes it do damage because here part the fire shot in a Tisha Road. If you go in Tisha Road and say anything about NDP, the whole area they will come out and want to crucify you. A retarded child in his retardancy must be go there and look on, and because he run, you could be shooting after an abnormal child. Is it these people lost their mind or what?
All right, Slider.
Like they lost their mind.
All right, buddy.
It could be brutalizing a nation. So have a good day.
All right, man. You as well. Thanks a lot.
We should be getting a call.
Yep. Yep. We've got a special guest in our guest room here. Let me see if I can bring him in.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Good morning, Danny.
Hi, how are you?
Danny, you're aging very well.
I want to say the same for you, but I'm not sure.
I think that's a picture you put up, you know.
You sound a bit muffled.
Very muffled. I don't know why.
You sound muffled, huh? Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me play with my settings here a minute and see if that will help.
Yeah, better.
Is that any better or not any better?
It's a little better.
It's a little better.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's that microphone that's not oriented properly in front of you.
Well, you know.
Let's go with it.
All right,
That's what it is. Yeah, Bing asked me to call in because apparently we see some damage up in Sandy Bay again, and I got plenty cussing when I said that I don't exactly understand why it is that Sandy Bay exists and why it is that we allow certain places to be developed and for human beings to live there, when it is clear that human beings are not meant to live in certain places, but we continue to do gross stupidity. And it's not just in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I might add. I mentioned at one time that those of you who are old enough to remember Hurricane Katrina, I think Danny's a little bit young to remember that, but Hurricane Katrina was about 12 or 15 years ago, I believe, when it hit New Orleans. And in New Orleans, a section of the city is built below sea level. And they have a bunch of levees up to hold back the water. So, of course, when Hurricane Katrina came, Mary is old enough to remember this, of course. Of course, all the levees broke. Bing is too young also, but that's another story. But all the levees broke. So, of course, you know what the United States government decided to do, right? Just like all good politicians, they decided they were going to rebuild, right? Total stupidity. So we have places here where every time we get heavy rains, every time we get hurricanes, tropical storms, etc., there are certain parts of this country that are always damaged. And I believe, subject to me being corrected, that Sandy Bay is one of them, right? So we see this video and everybody gets on and carries on again. And look at where these people's houses are located, guys. You tell me if that makes any sense to be building houses, right? And we will rebuild better. And then in 10 years' time or less, the same thing will happen again. You know, so I don't know why sometimes we waste our breath talking. I saw some very interesting things about politicians and what they're good for and what they're not good for. And I thought that was interesting too, but obviously I can't comment on that kind of thing. Yes, Bing.
What do you think can be the solution? Because you were on television some
Yes.
weeks ago talking
Yep.
about the very same issue.
Yep. The solution is very simple, Bing. We have land in this country. The government needs to rebuild a new village somewhere else, right? We have enough. We have enough space in the country to do that. I'm not. I'm not an expert on the geography of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but I am told that, for example, even up in the Orange Hill areas or a little further south of that, there is room to rebuild other villages. The question on relocate people or spread them about throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My opinion is that anything north of the Dry River should be declared a national park and also subject to farming. And farmers can come and go if they want, and they can have their land up there, but they shouldn't be allowed to live there. Because I don't think living in that particular part of the country is such a great idea.
I agree, man.
But nothing will happen, correct? So we waste our time talking again, and we'll do the same thing again. And I will get cussed again for saying people shouldn't live where they're not supposed to live. But buddy, it is what it is. I mean, that is the solution, and you know it, and I know it, right? How many times have we seen this, Big?
But in the meantime, while let's say the government decide to take your advice and move these people
Yes.
from one location to the other, in the
Yes.
meantime,
Yes.
are we going to let them just be there while we develop another
No,
location?
Bing, in case you didn't notice, right? We built a wooden school to move, I believe, the Thomas Saunders kids at Annisvale. That was, I believe, that wooden school has been built in about 6 weeks, right?
Yes.
So it's very simple, guys. We do have room. We do have space to build quote unquote temporary facilities in Annisvale. Fortunately, we have that very readily to do. So there's no reason that can't be done in the interim while we figure out where we're going to put all of these people in the Sandy Bay area in particular. There's no reason that cannot be done, correct?
That's a good idea.
Well, a good idea that won't really matter, buddy. I'm going up. I plan to drive up there this weekend as far as I'm allowed to. I'm not sure how far we're allowed to drive anymore or not drive, given the hurricane, both the hurricane and the volcano action. But it'll be good to see. I was talking to somebody last week about, and I hear Bragsaw's doing some excellent work, by the way, and I don't know who's in charge of Bragsaw, but I'm hearing a lot of good things about Bragsaw these days, which is nice. But apparently they're doing a lot of testing on how to use the volcano ash to build blocks. Apparently the volcano ash is very good for building very strong blocks that can be used in building houses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd like to, we like to criticize people, but we should give them, plaudits when they do a good job. So Bragshaw here is doing a great job.
Yeah, but Jomo was just on, Council was just on, and he spoke about the condition of the road in the area as well. And he said the road very, very bad.
Yes.
There's streams running through the roads, and therefore you know what's going to happen. So he can't understand why, in any mind, that someone will think it is okay that even if there's a problem up there, that you can't, how long it will take to access the area to get the people out, given also the condition of the road.
As I said, I haven't been. I don't know how bad the roads are. I saw an article that Kenton did, Eyewitness News up there, and we have to get the people out, obviously. But where are you getting them out to go, right? And as I said, we shouldn't just be looking at Sandy Bay, because Sandy Bay is the immediate issue, as it tends to always be. But we should also be thinking about, what about people like Ovia and Point and all these other places up there? What is suitable for them and what isn't, and where should people live and where shouldn't they live? And when are the people in Fancy and Ovia and so on going to be able to get back home? Because if we wait until after the hurricane season, that's another 6 months away, Big. That's an awfully long time to be having people living out away from their homes with no real plans and concrete plans other than to, go back where you came from and hope that we don't get another storm, another hurricane in the season.
Well, you saw the video, Stephen, and there wasn't a hurricane on the weekend. That video was a video that was taken on the weekend.
Heavy rains, right?
Yep.
There you go. So I don't see how it is that we are going to change that mentality, right? And speaking of the roads, Bing, I mean, it's not just those roads might be the one we're paying attention to. But, I mean, I believe you're familiar with a road that's in Villa, right?
Yes.
Right, in the main road that is in the middle. Apparently that road, that Apparently, that road is the dividing line between East and Western George. So maybe that's why it can't get fixed, big.
Because nobody live on the line.
No, we live on the line going down the road. There's a road going down to Shrewsbury House where Camilla Gonsalves' house is located. And if you see the state of that road, I don't know, maybe roads are not a priority at the current time. And maybe they will become a priority at another point in time. They're not right now.
Stay put, we got Dr. Thompson, because I've got something I want to ask about, which I think that you'll be interested in, that's coming out of Barbados. Which is, I don't know if you heard about that. Different variants in Barbados. Mario, let's jump into the topic. Is he there yet?
Yes, he is, but we do have to do a quick break before we jump into this, all right?
Cool. Okay,
So,
sip it, even. Sip it.
Okay, keep it locked on. Start we do it. Boom, OMG in the morning, unpacking all the issues. Keep it locked on.
Turbulent times teach us the meaning of dependence. We are all dependent on each other to see each other through these trying times. We are reminded to care. GECU introduces our Care Loan, CARE, comprehensive assistance and relief for essential workers, an offering of financial reinforcement to those who care for us. The GECU Care Loan allows for all essential healthcare workers to borrow up to $50,000 to get themselves back on a firm foundation. The GECU Care Loan offers the absolute lowest rate for consumer loans in SVG at just 8.5% and gives you the flexibility of a full 7 years to repay. For more details, visit any of our branches nationwide or our main branch in Kingstown. Your job is to take care of others. Our job is to take care of you. Offer ends June 2022. Terms and conditions apply. So come on into GECU, because GECU cares for you.
The National Lottery Authority introduces the Lotto app for all Android and iPhones. Your free download available at nlasvg.com. Whether at home, work, or simply having fun, get all NLA game results at your fingertips. View all draws of the National Lottery Authority on your handset or tablet with the user-friendly Lotto app. Download today at nlasvg.com. The Lotto app.
If you have thought and you debated about getting vaccinated, thinking could you, should you do it? Now's a great time to get to it, cause if you choose to get the shot, we're gonna thank you quite a lot with a $50 gift card for topping up your phone and helping to make things here COVID-free zone. Yes, a $50 thank you if you decide on vaccination. Go to grenadinesinitiative.org for information. That's grenadinesinitiative.org. Thanks.
This is Boom 1069.
Tell me why you like that.
People business dope.
Why you so? Why you so? Why you so? Tell me why you just can't leave the road. Leave people business alone. Don't do that. Zappa, don't try that. Zappa, don't do that. Don't do that. Why you just can't leave it alone? Don't do that. Zappa, don't try that. Palapata, don't do that. Don't do that. What you watching me for? All up in my privacy. You a stand paparazzi. Tell me why you like that. Tell me why you like that. You can sing what you want. Go report all what you see. Like an anchor on BBC. Gosh, why you like that? No, not me. You can't stop a plan for me. Yeah. No, not me. What is there for me? Always there for me. Yeah. Bad mind, please stop it. People business, no profit. Look for what put money in your pocket. So please, people business alone. Don't do that. Zappa, don't try that. Zappa, don't do that. Don't do that. Why you just can't leave it alone?
The real Batman Big, Daniel, and DJ Shady. OMG in the morning on 1069.
Gotta let you know what's going on with Max Pizza and Kitchen and Beckway. They give you the Vinci Pizza delivery every Friday. Place your order by 10 p.m. Thursday. Call via WhatsApp 528-1854 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. or hit the restaurant up at 458-3474 from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. All orders, of course, delivered by a Max Trip the following Friday at the wharf for 5:30 p.m. upon the arrival of the Beckway Express. Max Pizza, trust me, they don't skimp on toppings, they don't skimp on taste, they don't skimp on flavor. You want to definitely give them a call and get your pizza on, all right? Friday dinner is taken care of. Billable hours. We ask the question, what's up, Doc? Bring in Dr. Gerald Thompson here on Boom 1069. Good morning, guys. We still got Stephen Joachim in the house.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Good. I am very well. I'm very well, my friend. But before I say proper good morning to you, I have to congratulate Shady on beginning to learn how to play really good music. Shady, good job, buddy. You're making good progress.
You don't want to compliment Shady.
No, I'm sorry, Stephen, but I love Shady's music, man, all the time. Each of us have our own taste, and so Shady, thank you for playing music that I like all the time. Don't share too much. Don't share too much just because you have Stephen in the studio. I mean, play what we want. Yeah, say play what we want.
Shady, here's the difference, right, Shady? You're speaking to what you just heard. There was a politician. I am your friend, and I will tell you when you play well and when you play crap. This morning you're on fire. Keep it up, buddy. Well done.
Oh my gosh! But listen, I used to be a politician a long time ago. I am not. I am maybe. I like to think I'm a medical doctor, Stephen. You know what I mean? That's my role there. Huh?
No, you're a medical doctor with political friends.
You are my friend. Ben, you are my friend. You are my friend. And Stephen, you've always been my friend. We go back a long way. Stephen and I go back a long way.
Gerald, you have very poor taste in friends.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
We are hearing some news coming out of Barbados, Stephen. Inform Doc. I don't know if he's heard what's happening.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
You're familiar with
it.
Let's bring the country up to date because I haven't seen anyone on social media mention it. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. But Barbados is just right there. I could trust stone to Barbados. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, Barbados has announced that they're likely to have a national curfew on July the 13th, which is on Tuesday. Now, essentially, they have in their routine surveillance have detected that there are 3 of the variant strains in Barbados. We always knew that there was the British Kent strain called the Alpha strain. And we also knew that in Trinidad, the Gamma strain, the P1, had been there for quite some time, and matter of fact, doing 30-40% of the cases. But there was no real evidence of the Brazilian strain in Barbados. Well, things have moved further. Not only is the Brazilian strain, but also the Delta strain in Barbados. So I think what they're reporting is all 3 strains have been detected from CAFA, and that this is an alarming sign. And whenever the Delta strain comes in, because it is 250 times more contagious than the ordinary strain, the British Alpha strain is 50 times more contagious. The Delta strain is 250 times more contagious. And we are likely to see what's taking place, an upsurge, an uptick in a number of cases. I think Barbados is taking some very early steps to clamp down on this before it gets out of hand, especially as they've been looking to open up for tourism, cruise ships, and so forth. And, well, unfortunately, Barbados has been running at around, let's say, 26% vaccination rate on its way to 70. We tend to judge vaccination rates by a different figure, the amount of vaccines per 100 persons. And they're running at 56 vaccinations per 100 individuals, which is fairly good. England and Canada and those places are running 110, 117, 120, twice the amount, which is also excellent. Unfortunately, in St. Vincent, we are only at 22, the lowest in the OECS, vaccinated persons per 100 persons. So Barbados is, because they've seen an uptick in the number of cases, they're alarmed by this. Naturally, they should be, and they don't want to become like a number of other countries where the Delta virus, in particular, or the Brazilian, really takes over. There being a stone throw away from St. Vincent, this is of great concern. But I want to tell you, one of the great things about St. Vincent is what's going on at the airport and the seaport. The stringent measures that we've been dealing with there, Dr. Duncan and his team, they've been picking these things up, and the protocols for coming in, we've been able to keep these in. I'm not sure it can be kept out continuously, but that's one of the reasons why our rates are still down. But in addition, people are still refusing testing here in St. Vincent. So the cases could be much more, but people are refusing testing. And last week, Jomo, when Stephen, when you were on with Jomo, the issue of Israel came up. And I think Jomo, if I was right, started laughing a little bit that Israel is showing an uptick, and in the United States, similarly, at the CPAC convention, they were laughing and applauding that Biden had not achieved his total and his target, and say, look, there's an uptick there, and that what we are seeing, though, is in Israel as well as in the United States, you don't look at the national figures, you look at the individual city and village situations. And down in the south of the United States, you are finding where there's low vaccination rate, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, vaccination rates of 30%, barely 40%. That's where you're seeing the outbreak. And even in those areas, there are other areas where in a particular location, the vaccination rate in one location could be 90%, but another location is 10%. On average, it's 40%. So it even gives you a false impression. And similarly, in Israel, there are low socioeconomic areas. The Arab communities there are black communities in Israel and so forth, all sorts of things. I'm not saying that those are necessarily the low economic area, but there are some low economic areas. And again, in Israel, that's where you're seeing where there's been higher hesitancy in low socioeconomic areas, that essentially that's where the increase is. So don't look at a country at a national level and see a figure like England and see there's 60%. You got to also understand that in the Northwest, in Bolton, in Manchester, and those places, vaccination rates are lower than in London, where vaccination rates are high. And so in Bolton and in Manchester and those places, that's where we are seeing the outbreak of the Delta virus. The message I'm bringing here is that what is likely to be the case in Barbados, what's been the case in the southern part of the United States, what's been the case in Israel and in the UK, is that areas that have lower vaccination rates in the country are the areas that are picking up the virus. And by and large, 99% of the people who are coming down with COVID, whether Delta, Gamma, Alpha virus, are people who are unvaccinated. And I really am upset that there was laughter. There was laughter, Steve, when it was said Israel is showing an uptick. Israel is showing an increase. And there's laughter from the Republicans at CPAC that Biden has not achieved his target and his total. This is something that concerns me, and it's going to reflect seriously for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because we generally at a national level and at the local level have low vaccination rates.
Stephen, your response?
Doc, the problem, as I see it, it's clear to me that the vast majority of Vincentians have no interest in getting vaccinated, right? We have the what I call the people who go on radio stations and lie, deliberately lie, and it's happening on most radio stations. And the people who are hosting these shows either are not knowledgeable enough or are not capable of challenging the lies. One of the lies I want to call out, which I did the other day with Jomo, is Jomo made a statement where he basically said that he believes that I could still catch the virus even though I'm fully vaccinated, and I could spread it to him. And he says this continuously. He never goes on to add, but there is more than a 95% chance, Stephen, that you will not get the virus. And there's therefore more than a 95% chance that you will not spread it to me, right? Which I find is a lie. I'm not calling it disingenuous anymore. I'm calling it a blatant lie. So that's all well and good. But our government seems to have lost interest, Gerald, in pushing vaccines and vaccinations and coming down. And what are we doing about tourism? You made a comment recently about what a great job we're doing at the airport. Except when I left the country a few weeks ago, a security lady tells me she has no interest in taking no vaccine and she is not going to take any vaccine. So it's all well and good to say you're testing and doing all the things you want at the airport, because you and I both know COVID is going to likely to increase here. It is going to get here some way or the other, right? Unless you want to shut down the whole country and nobody comes and goes or moves anywhere. So I'm not quite, to me, it seems like our government seems to have lost their way a little bit. We had a meeting with the Department of Labor, and we've heard the Prime Minister comment about doing certain things, about dealing with legislation and the Department of Labor issues, and they were going to talk to the Attorney General. Well, I think that was probably 6 weeks ago. So it seems to me that we're getting two-sided messages from our government. People like you and Simone and the medical people are trying their best and doing their best to get the message out. But it seems to me that on the other side of the fence, the government has lost interest. Now, I am not a cynic, of course, but I did read an article that said the other day that the IMF were about to issue a total of $650 billion in special drawing rights. Special drawing rights are simply very, very low interest loans. So I'm wondering if people have lost interest because they realize now there's going to be money available to pay people's salaries for probably the next year or two, so we no longer need to panic. But in the meantime, the private sector is getting hammered, tourism is getting hammered, and it would be nice to hear the government stand up and say, hey guys, is this a serious issue or is it not? So there's several different things to talk about here all the way around. Now, in terms of Delta and Gamma variants and all of those kinds of things, most people don't care about that. Vincentians will only care, and I continue to say, if people start to drop dead or if they get hit in their pocketbooks. Those are the only two things that will impact Vincentians' decisions, right? So I don't see this changing for a while based on what we're doing. We have the lowest vaccination rates. How's that going to change exactly? I don't see. Dave, over to you, buddy.
Yeah, but Stephen and Dr. Thompson, I remember hearing you saying, jumping, screaming at the top of your voice that the Brazilian bad boy. If we don't want, we have to stop the Brazilian bad boy, which you consider a very, very dangerous variant. Now that this is in Barbados, do you guys think that it would just be a matter of time that this can be in St. Vincent?
It is just going to be a matter of time. Let me tell you what we've seen in terms of the contagiousness of more so. I'm more worried about the Delta virus. The Brazilian was the real bad boy. Now I'm saying the Delta is now even worse. And there's also a Delta plus. And I don't want to go into the Lambda and all. The nature of this vaccine is to mutate. But Steve, I mentioned those particular names to be accurate about that particular article. When people read the article, they'll be reading about Delta and Gamma and all that sort of stuff. And I think a fair amount of people will be. Now, I think that there is going to be a major program being rolled out. I think what's been taking place over the last few weeks is more of assessment as regards what is it really that are bothering certain people in various communities. And I think we've had ideas as regards why. You brought up that it's pocketbook issues and so forth, but I believe that there are some deeper issues that require some questions. And I think these answers have been better formulated. Now, we had a meeting with the community college the other night, and also just a week before with the Taxi Drivers Association. And the questions that come through from them are recurrent. They ask the same questions. Simple questions. And you've hit the name on the head, But as the main question, they ask, as the vaccine does not fully protect you, what's the point of taking it? And Stephen, you've answered that question. Other people have answered the question. It has to be answered in a more widespread fashion. And by this whole thinking that people think if it's not fully 100%, then it is zero. If it is not 100%, it is zero. And we have to be able to better explain to people that 95% is 95%. And those who will catch the virus, who are vaccinated, are catching it very, very mildly. The only symptoms they portray: a stuffy nose, a sore throat, some sneezing, and some headache. That's all, by and large, they manifest themselves with. And the other question, if this vaccine does not stop me from giving it to someone else, then why take it? They're asking those same recurrent. Now, I want to say these questions are questions that were formulated by shadow groups. They're the same questions that are being pushed in the southern part of the United States, in certain parts of England. This is such an organized, orchestrated thing. And the people who are pushing it, whether the Tusians or Jomo or whatever, if you go on Jomo's Facebook page and you look at his postings on COVID, many of them, and I used to tell Kenson the same thing, many of them originate out of QAnon dictates and philosophy. He does not realize that. Kenson used to send me some stuff, and I used to say, Kenson, do you know this has come from QAnon? This is core QAnon stuff. You're searching so deep for stuff that you're going into the heart and the belly of QAnon, and they're pushing this line, this right-wing racist viewpoint also, but they're silent on the racism part of it. They're just targeting you because of these shadow groups. And sadly, you know, person like Jomo are acting as viral agents. They're acting as agents of the virus, because there's not a single article talking about the ills of the virus. There's no balance. For somebody who talks about there's a need for balance, there's a need to balance and show balance. There's no balance. It is all strictly anti-pharmaceutical companies, anti-vaccine, and it's because people have been had hook, line, and sinker, and they basically they become viral agents. Now, I believe, Steve, that you are going to see a major program rolled out. It is one that I think has been awaiting for some new additional vaccines to arrive, and that there's been an effort to make sure that those vaccines, the Sputnik and so forth, are honored across the region, and that you know, they recognize it, University of West Indies for travel and so forth, and that has been secured. I think too that we are likely to see in the future, near future, maybe even some Pfizer vaccine. And with that those new tools, I think you're going to see a major program launch. Can't give up on this. I wouldn't say there's been no pause. The program is ongoing, and I think you're going to see a major, major rollout. But you have to gather the evidence. Now, the fact that you have these individuals, the Jomos and the so forth, who you have been on radio with, who I have been on radio with, and they're relentless in terms of their approach. I believe that time will certainly show in terms of what's really the right way, and a lot more persons who saying, I disagree with you that people saying they're not taking it. I think people saying they're waiting. I think people are hesitant, and we are picking up from the surveys that are being done that people are more hesitant and they need the answers, and we are going to deliver those answers in a much more organized way to the various individuals. And I believe, I'm confident, I feel down in my bones that we are going to see some results, you know?
Guys, let me ask you something. Mara, just bring up the background music a little bit for us, please. Guys, let me ask you something to you both. Given that Barbados will go into curfew from tomorrow because of these new variants, what should we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines be doing at the moment?
Thanks, buddy. Well, the Doc can give his views on that in terms of what we should be doing. And I hope, Doc, that you are correct. But the people I am speaking to, I don't know how you're going to change their minds, because to me, they're making excuses. They have no, and we're allowing, and I admire you for your ability to continue to fight against the blatant stupidity that we're hearing. And as I said, I was called a racist because I said I found it ironic that it's the white people who are running towards vaccines and the white countries who are running towards vaccines, and it's the black countries and the black people who are running from vaccines. And I find that ironic because if the vaccine is designed to kill black people, then something is going wrong, don't you think? So at some point, it would be nice to hear the stupidity stop and we can have proper civilized discussions about what's really happening or what isn't happening. Go ahead.
Steve, I don't call it stupidity. I call it fear. There's a sense of, it's a form of cognitive dissonance in the sense that some people, if I could say this on the radio, some people are scared shit. You understand? Some people are scared. And it has produced all sorts of manifestation. And I'm saying that those entities that were out of the block first, because it was all last year, even before vaccines came out, there was anti-vax sentiments coming through. I think that they're running out of videos and steam. They're recycling the old ones and so forth. And the information that they have, people are seeing and hearing that the people who are coming down with this particular virus are the unvaccinated. No longer are you hearing people saying, oh, this is just a little flu. Oh, it ain't gonna affect anybody. Oh, this, that, the other. And people realize, and people are beginning to see the countries that have benefited. But at the same time, even those countries that have benefited, they still have hesitancy and anti-vaxxers. In England, the rate of vaccination, like in the United States, has slowed down because you're now getting to the hardcore individual, the more hesitant and the more resistant. So it's going to be tougher. And they say in Israel, to get to that from 60% to 70%, it's going to take another 3 months just to go that extra 10%. Because it's a complex issue. But I believe...
Sorry to interrupt you, Doc. But I want to channel you guys to an answer to my specific question, right?
Okay.
And one of the arguments that I have heard being used a number of times is that, why do we need to take the vaccine? People are surviving. People who've caught the vaccine have been surviving. The virus have been surviving, right? But that may be because of the variant that we've had. All right. Now we have the strong variants coming to us now that are in Barbados. Just a matter of time before it gets here. What should we be doing? That's what I want to know.
I want to agree with you. When I brought up there about what's going on at the airport, that has helped to slow that process down. It doesn't mean people can't get past the airport system, but we pick it up early. We pick up the positive cases early. We've got people isolated in hotels and quarantines, and therefore positive cases, we're able to isolate them and prevent them from spreading. It doesn't mean positive cases don't come in, but it is a clear danger what's happening in Barbados. But to those individuals, in other words, if the Delta virus gets it, it can walk stick. It can walk stick. Because we saw with such a low vaccination rate. They say there is a
walk stick meaning what? There are a lot of young people who don't know.
Well, no, they understand. Let me tell you something. There was a 1-2 punch they call in vaccination. Low vaccination, and in terms of the variant, the Delta variant, we are seeing a 1-2 punch. We are seeing massive increase in cases. We are seeing a higher incidence of death, not because the Delta virus causes more death or is more deadly, but because it's more contagious, more people are infected. Now, I want to say the point we're also missing out for those who are saying people ain't getting sick, they don't realize that a lot of the people who we say have recovered, the people who we saying have recovered, the doctors are telling me, boy, I have cases of this long COVID where people, men, are now having problems with their erection. That in terms of people with chronic fatigue, brain fog, their diabetes, which was controlled before, is now totally out of control. New diabetes onset. We've seen a host of different things. Shortness of breath, chronic fatigue. I'm repeating myself, but there's the long COVID things. And when it's loss of taste and loss of smell and other factors, we've been talking about this, and I tell people Google these ideas to see the incidents, but that's the new era. So yes, people may not die because we've learned a lot more. We've got respirators, we've got ventilators, we've got all sorts of things to try and pull people back from death. But at the same time, we're going to see a whole set of long COVID, chronic COVID caused, not because the virus is persistent, but because of the inflammation it has caused inside their body. So we should definitely be concerned about what's happening in Barbados. It was in Trinidad. Trinidad was locked down. You couldn't get a flight out to Trinidad. Trinidad may well be opening soon. So you would see that the P1, the Gamma will come out of there and further out of Brazil. You're seeing that England has the Delta. Delta would find it easy to get into Barbados from England. And then from Barbados, I'm sure we will see it over here and so forth. I hope it doesn't. I want to be wrong, but from what is indicated is that the Delta quickly takes over the field, and we are likely to see widespread infection, more contagiousness. That's why I talk about walking stick.
Even should we preempt this, Barbados is going to curfew from tomorrow. What should we do?
Well, Bing, here's my view, right? Which the doc will hate me for saying, but I am fed up. Having been fully vaccinated for many months now, I am totally fed up with the idea that I still have to be wearing masks. I still can't go to certain places. I still can't go to a fete or party if I feel like, right? I can't play loud music if I feel like because of these restrictions. And I'm fed up with the restrictions, to be quite honest with you, because we have vaccines here that we know work that protect people. So why should I continue to be having to sacrifice for people who don't want to protect themselves? That's my view. So I am not in favor of any lockdowns, curfew, or any stupidness, because I don't see why I should be punished because certain people want to be stupid. And I know Doc doesn't like that term, but that's what I see. I see stupidity, idiocy. I see people desperately going on websites to try and find whatever they want to support their viewpoint. They refuse to go to the reputable, decent websites where we can see facts. They quote numbers about breakthrough cases as though that's a big deal. But in fact, the numbers are minuscule. We're talking about fractions of a percent. And we see these what I regard as total lunacy. You know, as Doc said earlier, QAnon and people keep sending me videos. And you saw the stupid one about the cricketer the other day falling down. Then more than 3 million people approximately now have been vaccinated around the world. 3 billion, as in B, right? And that's about 40% of the world's, if you like, I shouldn't say 40% of the world population because they haven't been fully vaccinated, but they've had one shot pretty much, right? Forgive me if I'm slightly off there. But we don't see people dropping down left, right, and center, Bing. Last night, a friend of mine, a lawyer friend of mine, sent me a video, and we're all going to die soon. I said, well, I guess I'll join my 70% of Americans, my nearly 80% of Canadians who are eligible, my nearly 70% of British. We're all going to be dropping dead soon. But the amazing stupidity that is being spread on the social media, that is being spread in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the radio, and the anti-vaxxers and the liars are dominating the radio. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that's what I see. Now, shutting down and locking down the country and curfews and all of that, it may work only to the extent that people will get fed up and say, you know what, I want to be free and I'm fed up of this stupidness. It's interesting but I think unless the government gets tough, we're not going to get any significant increase in vaccination rates. I see in Fiji, they've just announced basically no vaccinations, no job. In other words, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come to work.
Yep.
We gotta get. We either taking this thing seriously or we are not. And right now, as I see it, we're walking the middle road, and we should make a decision. It's either we're going down the road properly, or forget it. And those who don't want to take it, that's your choice.
And these new variants, what about the vaccines? Because there are persons who saying they're waiting on one particular vaccine as opposed to the other. How does the vaccine that we have here, how effective is it against these new variants that are in Barbados?
It sticks up. Basically, you find that as new mutant strains comes out, the various vaccines may be slightly less effective. I have to admit that. But they're still fairly effective. But the issue is a stitch in time saves 9. We need vaccination now so as to help prevent those entities. Once again, if you have, whether it's 95% now or later on, it'll be just 90%, those individuals who would catch the virus, whether 5% or 10%, will only catch it mildly with a sore throat, a sniffle, a headache or so, as opposed to coming down with shortness of breath or vascular disease or so if you're unvaccinated. And the statistics showing that 99% of the people who are coming down are the unvaccinated is sobering. You know what I mean? I think that,
Can I interrupt you one quick second here?
Sure.
I mean, I think we haven't focused enough on the main reason that you should get vaccinated. Huh? And the main reason to get vaccinated, in my opinion, right, is to stop the future mutations of these viruses.
Yes.
That's because I'm not as concerned about Delta or Gamma or whatever. What I am concerned about is a mutation will hit us soon and the vaccines will not work.
Yes.
That is my serious concern. And we're starting all over from scratch again.
Yes.
And to me, that's the bigger deal. And that, we know that the Delta and the Gamma, the vaccines are pretty effective against those. But we're going to have a situation where there's another mutation and it's not going to work. And then where do we go again from there? And not only that, we're supposedly a Christian country. And how often do you want to really take something home to your grandmother? Do you really want to do that? I don't understand that kind of mentality and that kind of thinking. But to me, that's my real concern.
Yes, that is one of the things that what we find is that people have 4 or 5 of these issues, and it seems as if you may tackle 1 and 2 and 3, but there's something still lurking in the back. They're worried about whether it's going to sterilize them, and it doesn't. Or you're worried about whether there's some evil spirits there. In here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that is seemingly quite high, I think. But people don't say it in the surveys, where they feel there's some mark of the beast, evil, and so forth, and we got to bridge that. I think we need a lot more trusted influencers to really start to talk. The national message that goes out is one thing. I think at the level of in the shelters, in the communities, in the villages, wherever people are, in the workplace, I believe that individuals who have been vaccinated, we want you, if you're like Stephen, to say you're fed up of masks. I'm fed up of masks. I want to throw my mask in a drawer. You know what I mean? Because I'm vaccinated. But if I'm fed up of masks, fed up of any restrictions, fed up of these things, talk to at least 2 persons, and give them the information. We're going to be providing a lot more information, answers to a lot of these questions, because Stephen, as you said, sometimes you see it on radio, you see it maybe in the workplace, people don't have the answers to some of these tougher but standard questions that people are asking. And they're not really as convincing. One of the things that we found out too is that people think the vaccines are medicine. If you have sugar or pressure, you take a tablet to bring down your sugar, bring down your pressure. But vaccines, what you're doing, you're taking it as a preventative measure so that if the virus comes along later, which seemingly it will do for many persons, you're ready. So it's a prevention rather than a cure. So people have been asking, Stephen, well, if you can't cure cancer and you can't cure AIDS. Why take the vaccine? Work on that first. But this is prevention. And I think that it's important to go this way. Yeah.
Guys, finally, my final question, because we got to go. Are we prepared? Because Barbados, I don't know how serious it is. I don't know what's happening. All I know is that they're going into curfew from tomorrow. Are we prepared?
Prepared for what exactly?
Well, for those variants to hit us like they're doing in Barbados at the moment.
Obviously, we're not prepared because our vaccination rates are horribly low. That is a fact of life. So of course we're not prepared, and we're not going to be. I admire the doc because he thinks people are logical and sensible by and large. I disagree with that. I think the vast majority of people are not logical and sensible, and you can't talk to them. You can't reason with them. Yeah. When you stand up with a man and you talk about vaccines and he just looks at you in your face and tells you, well, you could still catch it anyway and infect me, so why are you going to take that for? How do you deal with people like that? When you tell them, when my friend Jomo comes on the radio and continuously repeats that statement that is a lie and it is not true, right? How do we deal with that? You could talk to your blue in the face. He's never going to change his mind. So, Doc, I wish you well, my friend, and I hope that you are right and I am wrong.
Yes, well, what I would say, Steve, we're going to need you. We're going to need you. We need Bing. We need Mario. We need Daddy. We need everybody. I'm putting it that way. We need that level of mass mobility to overcome the Jomos who talk a good tune when it comes to protest and so forth and things like that. But on these subjects, I could never understand someone who has espoused communism, where you see there is dictatorship and so forth, and now espouses freedoms, but he's lining with other people freedom to carry a gun, freedom to shoot somebody because they offend you. Stand your ground. Those are the freedoms the QAnon people are looking for. Freedom not to wear a mask. There were people when we had Sufre eruption saying don't wear a mask still. You know what I mean? But the point is that I believe that whether in the upcoming weeks, I expect to see certain vaccines move from their emergency use authorization to become full approval. Full approval allows them to do certain things. It allows also governments like that of the Philippines, the Malaysia, Thailand, and so to impose what they consider as mandatory vaccinations. I think they will do mandatory vaccination in a lot of these countries for healthcare workers. You know what I mean? So that right now, on the emergency use authorization in the United States, they can't impose various mandates, but expect as Pfizer has applied for in May, its approval, and Moderna applied on June 1st, and other countries, other vaccines have been approved and are in the process of being approved. When that approval process goes through, before the end of the month, I saw the article from Anisia, since it is not emergency use authorization, therefore it's not legal to do any mandates. So what she's saying, when it becomes fully approved, she is going to support that it is legal to have mandates. Now, currently we don't have any mandatory aspect, but if Barbados and Trinidad and other countries start doing that, because they too will hit a hard pan, as we call it, where 25-30% refuse to vaccinate. So they've done well. They've been tortoise on the head. They've gotten off very fast, but still they will hit it. You will see these other countries imposing mandatory aspects for various type of professions or various places. I see that coming, and it's going to come because there is going to be full approval of some of these vaccines. You could never, you're not going to be able to call them an experimental jab anymore. You're not going to be able to call them the experimenting on you. All that will start to go away. And those critics are going to have to start to face the issue now of the full authorization and the ability to manage. I am still of the view that at the airport, we have a unique system there that it may help us capture certain cases very early. But once those cases get past our airports and seaport, that protocol, then we could be in some trouble. You understand, Steve? I agree with you. We could be in some trouble, but we have to continue the fight, and you have to still be and stay part of that fight, and we have to have faith that we can get this done.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, guys. We're going to pass it up.
Right.
Even thank you very much.
Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye, everybody.
All right, good. Bye. Guys in studio, take it.
Show in SVG. OMG in the morning with the real Batman Bing, Daniel, and DJ Shady.
Backpack music.
Georgia, me love you. Keep me strong up when the wicked them are trying to overcome. Yeah. Thank you for life, Georgia. Oh yeah. I feel so happy today. Yeah. Thank you for life. No Georgia. I feel so happy today. Yeah. Listen to them. Now listen to them. No matter what them walk and talk in a me yard, straight up me carry for them. Yeah. Say them are my friend. Yeah. But them me enemy them. Yeah. No matter how them try to bite me, me still a sorry for them. Oh Georgia, you see I know them. Please just show them. Don't make them pass me. Me just want to know them. Say you control your destiny. Yeah. You alone know what's best for me. Whoa. Wicked I'm out the street now, like San Francisco. But me there, I say, thank you for life, Georgia. Yeah, I feel so happy today. Yeah, you can depend on me. Yes, you can depend on me. Yeah. I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner. Anytime the trouble is on, I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner. When you need someone around, you know I'll be your friend. Cause I'm in your corner. Anytime the trouble is on you, I'm in your corner, friend. Cause I'm in your corner, and I'm never gonna let you down.
And if we lose it all and everything slide down, stand on the big ride, she stand up by the king side. I'm some dog, I want it down on the inside. One call and them still smile, I'm on down the thing fine. In your corner like the coach, on the ringside, yeah. From we used to know no clothes, cash no swing my way. Enough my toll in not the road, but never switch I say. And if we fight to death, and that's the right way.
So when I call you my brother, I mean it. What's thicker than blood? I'm realness. I'm not leaving. Share the food, make we feed together. If anytime we will play together. I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner. Anytime the trouble is on, I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner. When you need someone around, you know I'll be your friend. Me in your corner. Yeah, I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner, friend. I'm in your corner. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
It's time to get primed for the summer with Digicel. Now's your chance to catch your share of $30,000 cash. 4 winners will be selected weekly to catch their share of cash in the Digicel Cash Vault. It's so easy to qualify and win. Activate a free 7 or 30-day Digicel Prime bundle. Make the switch to Digicel. Pay your postpaid bill in full or bundle your postpaid account with Digicel Fiber Internet. Or when you sign up for your Digicel Fiber Internet. Every week in summer, you get a chance to catch your cash. Get primed for the summer. Let the good times roll with Digicel. Digicel. Primed for the summer. Digicel terms and conditions apply.
All
Are you a very health conscious person and cares 100% about your body? Well, you should check out Fit and Blessed for the most outstanding natural products that 100% gives results. Fit and Blessed offers a series of weight loss products, weight gain, and body enhancement options. Some of the products that Fit and Blessed offers are slimming teas, flat tummy powders, flat tummy teas, butt oils, breast reduction oils, male enhancement oils, and much more. For more information, feel free to contact 497-7323. Fit and Blessed, where you get the result.
Diamond Grocery Inc. is your friendly neighborhood grocers for one-stop shopping. Located in Calico and Diamond, we carry a wide range of items such as meats, toiletries, personal care, even vehicle products, catered to satisfy even the pickiest of shoppers. Our bakery supplies a variety of hot, delicious breads and pastries. We provide spacious parking at both locations to ensure a pleasant and easy shopping experience. Our staff is courteous, friendly, and ready to serve you. Shop at Diamond Grocery Inc. in Diamond and Calico for an excellent shopping experience.
Have you ever wanted something but can't get it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Sign up with MyBox and receive a free US mailing address and shop from any website for amazing deals. With just a few clicks, I can go from whoa to wow. With great rates, shipment twice a week, hassle-free, my son can now get his PS5 really fast. We even deliver to you no matter where you live. Contact us today at 533-2501 or sign up with MyBoxShipping.com. My Box. You buy, we ship, we ship, we ship.
This is Boom 1069.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
When the forecast says nothing but clear skies and good moods, blessings from all around. And that's all we see in the forecast for today.
First thing I do as I rise up is count my blessings. First thing you should do as you rise up is count your blessings. Cause every new day under the sky is a blessing. Yeah. And you're surely blessed if you have life, ain't no guessing. Yo, I want you hear me like the radio. Want you see what I'm saying like a video. Understand me clearer than stereo. Life hard but try to make nothing trouble you. Morning neighbor, voice the dealio. Hope you have a good day and everything is okay. No matter what happen, we not give it up. Just like too short, so let me live it up. It's all about the high life. We vibrating on a high frequency. Vibrating on a high energy. Yeah, we coming to your life with a bag of good vibes. Everything is alright. We vibrating on a high. Yeah, you know the vibes. We never stop, we never give up. You know the heights. We never break, we never ease up. Yeah, it's all about the highlight. It's all about the highlight. It's all about the highlight.
Cruising. Not a care in the world right now, just cruising. Operating on Caribbean time, I'm moving slow. Yeah, the sun's on my face and the breeze so soothing. Good vibes, off to the beach we go. Friends and family, come along, let's go. Come on, put a couple drinks in the cooler, come, let's go. Roll one night, one gun is more to me now. As the breeze blows, this is life. To the beach, right now we're going to the beach. To the beach, right now we're going to the beach. Coming to your life from the beach. Me on my beach. Caribbean life is the sweetest. Life is a nice breeze is blowing. Good vibes is flowing. Good vibes and the children playing. The birds that jumping. I really love it. Take me back.
Boom 1069.
Hey, gotta let you know, Quartz, we're here for you. You can shop in store online at www.shopquartz.com. Save on a wide range of smart TVs, mattresses, and electronics. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get instant approval. Pay nothing down with a hassle-free repayment period of up to 36 months. That's right, Quartz, bringing value home.
And if you're looking to update your floors, District Stairs can provide you with an affordable alternative. Luxury vinyl plank is a hot new trend in flooring design. Easy to install, durable, has a lifetime warranty, comes in a wide array of colors, and is suitable for every room in your home. District Stairs is also offering free shipping to SVG during the month of August. You can contact them today on WhatsApp at 289-200-7649 or check out districtstairs.com or District Stairs on Facebook.
That's good morning and happy birthday to you. Hope you have a very, very special
Happy
one today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nats.
Shady's going to send some.
was for that.
If you were playing our birthday game, you should have a glass of wine, and every time we say birthday, you should have taken a shot, which was like how much times Mario said it just now. Quite a number of times. Yeah. Well, you trying to tell us something about your state on Friday, Mario? I don't know. I don't know if we have any voice notes, or let me try to go over to WhatsApp here to see if we have anyone commenting. I don't know what that's about. All right, somebody saying big up to everybody in the studio, Shady Lodge. Good morning, boom. I am a Vincentian living overseas for almost 30 years. I'm afraid to travel to St. Vincent for two reasons: police brutality and health care. Wow. Tell the police officer who slapped Kenson, 2 more for Kenson. And a dinner for 2 is in order for him.
Let's see. Kenson, call in, buddy. Defend your honor.
I'm surprised he isn't calling already.
I'm seeing the lineup. I'm afraid because I know I'm going to hear vaccine dog and.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let me first say, I'm surprised at Steven's 360 ton. It's a good thing, but I'm very surprised at Steven's 360 ton in regard to the vaccine.
You know, if it's a 360 turn, he's back where he started, huh? You mean a 180?
Well yeah.
All right.
Because I can remember, when you guys were advocating on behalf of this vaccine and so forth, I can remember Steve sending in a message and calling in program and asking why you all was allowing Stephen to derail the whole process. But I could understand, and it's a good thing that he chose to take the position he's taking now. But let me say, I don't believe no amount of PR will be enough for to encourage Vincentian to take this vaccine. A lot of persons are saying that they are not walking and they don't have any intention to travel, so there's no need for them to take the vaccine. So your incentive for them to take the vaccine is practically nil. So no amount of PR from the good doctor, Steve, or anybody is going to make Vincentian take this vaccine for those two simple reasons.
So it's hopeless then.
And they don't have any any hope of traveling, any intention to travel soon. The only thing I could see, so we have a population of 120,000, more or less. If you give every person who come in to take the vaccine, give them $1,000, because that is the situation, the economic situation in the country is like that. If you give them $1,000, I believe we will achieve herd immunity in the next couple of weeks. Because people want to know that if you do that, and there is only $120,000 there, and you do it for the vaccinate the whole population. If you want herd immunity, you reach 80,000 people, so much thousand people, and then you see, so the money that they are spending on the PR, let them put the money where it hurts, give the people. Tell Dr. Thompson, I say to advocate for this. You take the vaccine, Anybody who take, as soon as they take the vaccine, you get a voucher for $1,000, whichever, how you want to do it. And see if they don't achieve herd immunity for less than $120,000. Right?
All
Right, fellas.
All right, man. Dollars for jab. That is what you're saying there.
Well, isn't there something a $50 something?
The
As I know.
yeah, the Grenadine Initiative. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Go to grenadineinitiative.org and you can yeah.
Good morning.
Get an
We
incentive.
lost that call.
Let's see.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my sister. And greetings, Bing, and greetings, Brother Joakim. I just called to support something with Mr. Joakim. I have a situation to speak, but I'm not going to speak about the vaccine today because I've called the police to just alert them of something very dangerous happening with the vaccines. But let me just call to support Mr. Joakim concerning the Sandy Bay Fancy area. So I have a neighbor next to me. He said, Mr. Hammy, you know the situation with them people. This is a very serious man, this is a senior man, and he understands what is happening with in that area. He said, you know that whole of Sandy Bay is a river? And he's worried that if we could go, we get a category, say 4 or 5, where you have at least 12, maybe more than 12 inches of rain, that all those people could be washed into the sea. And he's worried that over the years, that after 1979, when we lost, we gave up the British, that more wasn't done to relocate these people from that very dangerous area. And I'm begging, let me go a way forward. We have got to start to respect the indigenous people. And we have got to start to make that change for them, relocate them from that dangerous area. He said to me, you know, Hammy, why them people end up there? The British pushed them back, took all the faults, all those areas in Kingston, where they could have come in, calm areas and so on, and develop and move backward and forth and take our resources back. They captured them and forced the Caribs in under the volcano. And I'm saying, my brother, I'm begging for you, maybe who knows, it could be Humus Vera and Bing, because I can't see no way future with current and opposition and government because they don't care about we. We've got to think about those people up there, and we have got to start to make sure that we treat them like human beings. Mr. Joakim, I'm very proud that you could speak for those people up there. I hope you could speak for the nation too. But what I'm saying, my brother, it is unacceptable that we are going to wait for some cat. God help us, a category 5, I hope. For 30-something years I live in this house, we never seen that. Or any significant freak storm can wipe those people out. We did it or better. They are there long before Columbus and them. They were there long before the Africans. And they have to be treated like people. And I fed up now. Montgomery, that and you're even Carib. That is what we're getting from you. I mean, my brother, that's what drives me, and I mean, no politics thing with nobody. We have got to start to think people. Bing, thank you for thinking people. I thank you for thinking people, my brother Joakim. I hope you're thinking people with the vaccine, because for me, what you and Thomas are saying about the vaccine is not true. And I'm going to prove it in front of a judge. I gone.
Okay. All right. Well, he stayed on topic the first part, and then he
then he branched off.
He branched off, but generally he stayed on topic. I don't know if you wanna.
But you're laughing at us trying to deduce what went on there.
Scroll up. Let's get some comments now. Let me see what people saying this morning.
Yeah.
There was a lengthy one.
Before you can scroll up and find them in the meantime. Let me just say it. Mr. Hamilton and people like you, right? I love your passion and I accept your views as well, right? But when you're playing with people's life, let me say, what Barbados on the weekend, the government called out all the media on Sunday morning, yeah, to have a media conference because this matter was so important, to announce that these new variants are in Barbados. That's how important the matter was. And to announce the government move that from tomorrow tonight midnight, that they're going to start a protest action. I am of the opinion that people in St. Vincent will start, because the way we look at COVID is not as serious as we did before. Like we know it's there, but it's we don't treat it as any, because there's so many different things happening. So many things happening. You know, when it's not the weather, the rain, the hurricane, the so-free, protests, all kind of thing. A lot of distractions. But when we're going to get back to dealing with COVID in a serious way, the minute one of these variants turn up in St. Vincent, not at the airport, but not at the port, but inland St. Vincent, when someone is tested for COVID, but not just COVID, but for one of the variants that are in Barbados right now, that the Barbados government have chosen. The only reason why they haven't done it from today, in terms of curfew, was that they wanted to give people a day to go and get their shopping and their stuff done, so when they go into COVID from midnight tonight,
Curfew.
curfew from midnight tonight, people won't have an excuse to be out. All right. When that happens in St. Vincent, when one of these variants turns up from being tested, we will go back to the very first day when COVID came to St. Vincent, the first and second case, when we all went crazy because these variants are highly contagious and are quite deadly. Okay? And I remember how Dr. Thompson would, in his passion, talk about the Brazilian bad boy, the Brazilian bad dog. We don't want to get that. We don't want to get that. Well, Brazilian bad dog is now in Barbados, and it's just a matter. You remember when Professor Robinson had said, Prime Minister, you may delay it, but with this one you can't stop it. With regard to the suffrage, well, I don't think we can stop these variances from coming in. We may delay it. Okay.
Bing, here's an interesting comment here. Lockdown don't do anything. Trinidad is locked down. Restriction and curfew, and they're still having high cases and high death toll. And people are being vaccinated every day.
So what do we do? Well, give us solutions. Give solutions. What's the solution?
There was another one there. That one right there. What does that say?
What you need is to get the medical community to take the vaccine. People are watching them and seeing seeing the low rates, especially among nurses, and following their lead. Let them do what you're doing instead of these people who people see are more concerned about economics than health.
I think that's a valid point. I mean, there are a number of persons who feel like, if my doctors aren't taking it, if my nurses aren't taking it, there's a general feeling of concern, right? And again, when Steven said it, I kind of was like, I don't even want to hear anything else, but to spin this narrative that people who aren't taking the vaccine or who have not yet taken the vaccine are stupid and it's stupidness, and you shouldn't label somebody as that because you figure, all the science points to XYZ. The fact remains, listen, there have been persons who have experienced adverse effects of this vaccine, whether you like it or not. It is a fact, okay? And there's some people who feel like, hey, I could be that one. I could be that one person, or my auntie could be that one person. There are people who generally have that concern. There are people who generally have that fear, in the same way that they have the fear that I could be that person that COVID hits and I don't make it. But there are people who, for whatever reason, feel like they're better off choosing the other option. And I can't tell them they're stupid because of it. I can only say, listen, just try to educate yourself as much as possible. Speak to as many doctors as you need to. Speak to healthcare professionals, but it doesn't help that those persons also are hesitant and reluctant. That's just what I think about it, because I know a number of persons who are in healthcare and they're not flat out. They're not interested in taking the vaccines.
Nothing to retort, Bing?
Oh, you could
No.
say or not say. That's fine. I was just giving my opinion on what.
No, definitely.
I was just giving my opinion on what I know is happening with a lot of people. Still waiting for the let me not say Cuban vaccine because Mr. Hamilton will say, oh, is it the
What's his name? What's his
Abdala
name?
vaccine? Hopefully it
No, no,
reaches St. Vincent.
morning. So I want to hear other people. So I respect people's opinion. Just like I have opinions. So the
What was that? What was that?
I
What Winston said? No, 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 not you, Bings. Somebody.
I said, thanks for being the voice of reason, Dan.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw something else. Tell Steven one stupid, but all right, no, that's all right. That's all right. Hamo for my goodness, what goodies for the job seems to work in other scenarios. What goodies? I've heard so many things being given away, and I don't really know that helps. Threats definitely don't help because this whole thing about people's jobs being taken away if they don't take the vaccine, people did not take very well to that either. So that messaging is not working flat out. I think it's just keep educating people. And to be honest, I think that with this new vaccine that's coming out of Cuba, I think that a number of people will take that. I really, really think so. I mean, I'm waiting for it. Waiting here, like, is
well,
it
you see
yet?
all those vaccines that we had to give away because we didn't want them to expire on us. I hope and I pray that when these new variants hit us, that we'll be able to get, in return when we don't have. Because I think then is the time when people will be rushing to want to get the vaccines. I just hope that they will be available. Because when I think people need to research these new variants and see how bad they are and how deadly they are, and they will be. Uh, that is why we're not in Barbados, so we understanding the seriousness of how Barbadians, the government is taking it in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
We live there on the ground, we'll not understand it. But the minute it comes to us, I think, which is just a matter of time, then it's when we'll understand. I just hope that when persons who are reluctant to do take the vaccine, that when they're ready, I just hope that we can have vaccines available.
And you see, I'm happy you mentioned that too, because Barbados has always taken very serious actions when it comes to COVID. They've always been very serious. They've gone to curfews, they've done lockdown, they've done everything in the book that people deem as taking it very seriously. And I think I've said this before, but in St. Vincent, we've always kind of been, and I'll say it, a bit nonchalant where that's concerned. We've taken different measures that were seen as more relaxed and laid back, and it's hard for people now to hear those same persons coming out and saying, oh well, take the vaccine, take the vaccine, it's so important that you do this, it's so important, when it seemed very early on that they weren't taking the situation as seriously as they should have. And I think that also is a huge problem when it comes to the numbers that we're seeing for vaccination. Something else that I keep hearing people reasoning in terms of not taking it. Just something that we should all think about. I'm seeing some comments there, Mario. Well, I can't see them very well, but I'm seeing them.
Just in agreement to what you said, saying that's the point. I've had persons say to me that families take the vaccines, died afterwards. How do you call that person stupid for failing to take the vaccine? A death may not be associated with the vaccine, but these people must be reassured otherwise.
Nats is also saying, I might take the vaccine, but when I stop breastfeeding. I did not know that you're breastfeeding, girl. Big up to you and your baby.
So for those people who've got families, as you said, somebody from St. Vincent who died, I read in Economist that someone took a vaccine in Italy and had an accident, walked in traffic, and a bus killed them, and blamed on the vaccine. I mean, you know,
Well, I watched a press conference where they were speaking about adverse effects from, I can't remember if it was one of them in particular, but there were a number of persons there talking about the adverse effects. And I mean, it is I see why there would be people who are fearful, because these people's lives have changed completely. And I think a lot of people want that to be acknowledged. I think people want the same persons who are saying, listen, go out and take your vaccine, to acknowledge that there are risks. There you go. I think that's a problem. I feel like people feel like you're only hearing about the good about the vaccine, but they want to also be knowledgeable of the fact that
You know, Marlon put it the best way that I've heard when he said it months and months ago. He said he stands a better chance of surviving with the vaccine than without the vaccine if he had to get COVID.
right.
You know, I think that way he put it that way, to me, you know, if resonated more with those people who saying that they can die if they take the vaccine. You know, he said, in his opinion, he decided to take the vaccine because, in his opinion, he stands a better chance of surviving COVID with the vaccine than
without it.
You know, so that I think Marlon put it the best way, in my opinion. But
Well, maybe they need to check Marlon.
Experience is something that we gotta be careful about. And I mean, from almost a year ago, Dr. Thompson been talking about these different variants. We got to be so happy that these variants are not with us. If they ever come to us, well, they're almost here. And you know, how we deal with this is important. And we need to hear what the plans are. That's why I asked both Dr. Thompson and Stephen this morning, how should we respond to this? How should we respond to the fact that these variants are just in Barbados, which is just nearby to St. Vincent? You know, everybody wants to come to St. Vincent. Most people, they go through Barbados. Right? People go up to Barbados now still to do to get visas and all that and come back. Well, they're not going to be able to do it now because Barbados is going on lockdown. But the point is, even they're not going to stay on lockdown forever. And when they get off of lockdown, people are going to be in and out of Barbados, passing through Barbados as per usual. What are we going to do then? We should be ready for another doctor.
Yeah, making way for him. I just got two comments. One is it's all based on trust. The people have lost all trust in the system. And when the government's giving something away, people got scared and believe, nah, boy, something in that we are giving these vaccines, and they already lost trust in the system. That's why if the medical team had taken charge of this and it didn't look like a Ralph thing, it would have turned out better. That's one. The second one is the level of ignorance with the message of the vaccine that is happening in SVG is priceless. All those people who lost their lives from COVID would have given anything to have their lives today if the vaccine was available to them. Government should enforce laws to all government workers who are serving people, period. All right, let's see if we can make way for the doc here on Boom 1069.
Let's check in with the doc and look at things with a wider lens. Pastor Richards on OMG.
All right, let's see if we can bring this full circle. Bring some order to the chaos. 8:48 is the time. Of course, Dr. Richards will be joining us on the phone lines. Let's see if this is him right now. Good morning, Doc.
Hey, good morning, Mario.
Hi, how you doing this Monday morning?
It's a hectic Monday morning. I can't believe it. Am I calling in late, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No, I just queued you.
On calls and doing other things, and then I switch back and I heard something. Make way for the doc. I'm like, let me call real quick.
Morning.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you doing?
I'm well. You?
I'm telling you, I don't like for my Monday mornings to start this way where it's one thing after the other, to be quite honest. But I have my coffee here, black gold, Folgers, good stuff. So, good morning, Bing, and good morning, Shady. Good morning to Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me give my 2 cents real quick on a number of things. I don't think I've spoken about the resettlement issue. By the way, forgive me if I mess up on anything because the morning has been so busy. I have not been able to follow and listen and all of that. So if this is nothing that I say here will be ad hominem against the man attacking anybody or getting at anybody. Just giving my 2 cents. And if you want to question me about it, that's fine. But I don't think that I have spoken about the resettlement issue, going back into the red zone and resettling there. I don't think I've said enough or even articulated my own thoughts on that. But with the rains this weekend, I have given further thought on that whole perspective. To be truthful, in the current milieu of anything, whether it is resettling or when I deal with relationships, when there's a fallout or something, I tell people don't make decisions in the heat of the moment when things are hot. Typically, you react to the emotions in the moment, what is current, and you make decisions that you might regret later. I think this holds, Daniel, I think this holds for just about every endeavor in life. Monumental decisions, big decisions, ought to be given a little space, a little distance from the moment. For example, if you looked at the videos yesterday, that's just one example, your immediate reaction would be there's absolutely no way in high heavens anyone in their right mind would want to resettle in Sandy Bay or in some of these areas of the red zone. Anybody who looks at those videos, and there have been previous videos and also other footage coming out of when people visit, because it's still a restricted area. I think declared restricted on the 20th of May or something like that. But anybody who looks at the footage coming out, not just related to the lahars and the rains, but other footage of damage there, they're like, who in their right mind would think of going back and resettling in these areas? And so the immediacy drives your emotion to think resettlement. No. I remember on a previous program, I had come on the radio and talked about the value of home vis-a-vis compared to being in an evacuation shelter, in an evacuation center. While the majority of Vincentian now, 99%, because I think only 1,000 plus have not gone back to their homes. So 100,000 Vincentians who live in here really enjoying their homes and know the value of that. But a handful, about 2,000, are agonizing over the fact that they are out of home, out of place, and they carry a unique and particular burden that I don't know that I can understand. Having the luxury, the comfort of my home, my own privacy, my own individualism, the ability to do things on my own, and there's a qualitative value that comes with that you really you can't quantify and say. It is something about being in your own space, your own home, and these people have been denied that for April to May to June to July. 3 months going on 4 months. And it is quite a difficult burden for them to bear. So while on the one hand, Bing, you have the images of what's coming out of the area that shouts at you, the optics, and say, nobody in their right mind will want to go back and resettle. You at the same time have this value of we want our home. One of the issues that I have not commented on, but the implications, I have been thinking about it. I think only one person in private, I said, we got to think of this. What are the first of all, be very clear that I spoke about the implications for lives, for quality of life, being in your home and all of that, that's primary. But a secondary, let me make sure I emphasize that word, a secondary issue is the issue of what does this do to the NW, the North Windward constituency. Particular, for example, the area that we saw in the video yesterday comprises a significant voting block, the Sandy Bay area. Any decision with respect to resettlement disrupts that voting block.
Right.
So you've got to start thinking of that. And these are configuration, the metrics of the decision. You will have to factor in. There are multiple other metrics, but you're going to have to factor in what is this going to do that. For the last 3 elections, the Sandy Bay constituency have been a pivotal voting block. You know that it has been a pivotal voting block. Any disruption is going to, or any settlement is going to, this resettlement is going to disrupt that significantly. And then the next question is, where do you put them? And if it's going to be on a permanent basis. And that brings into play the other question that I talked to a friend about is the Boundaries Commission, the work of the Boundaries Commission. Will this necessarily mandate a redrawing of the boundaries? How so? And then who calls the shot and who decides where they're going to be relocated? Because there is also a calculus. There's a calculus if they are to be relocated. There is a calculus, a political calculus that can be configured in the. Well, there has been so I've heard that there has been informal relocation all along prior to the election in 2020, but now we are talking about a formal relocation. That there's some calculus in terms of where would be. You understand? I think most people understand what I'm talking about. So these are things that you have to watch, configure, think about. That the resettlement, while it seems premised on what's happening right now, there are other factors which I call matrices that will be involved in the decision. But what I have heard is that they're going to move the people out of the schools, and move them up closer to the area, red zone area where they live. I guess not move them into the area, but I think 20 or so shelters, if I'm correct, 20 or so shelters, the last memo said, have been located close to the area of the red zone where these people can now move from the current shelters and move closer home. So we will see how that goes. What that does, it buys time so that there is no immediacy in the decision. You buy time to make a firm decision. So as it stands right now, I don't know that a firm decision has been made, but I know that a firm decision, you cannot win. If you locate them there, settle them back there, there's going to be a backlash. People are going to comment on the fact that that constituency has been very, very pivotal, and hence they're going to say that's why ulterior motive for locating them back there, resettling them back there. And if you resettle them elsewhere, you still can't win, because people are going to look at the political calculus as to where they are resettled. So this is a tough one, and I think currently the buying of the time to make a firm decision, is probably what is necessary. I don't know that right now you can say very firmly resettle or relocate.
But Doc, sorry to interject.
No.
Had to.
Right.
But for me, right now, it shouldn't matter about winning or losing or the optics or what people would say, because for me, it's something that is of such great importance when it comes to people's lives, that you should just make the decision that's good for the people. You're there for the people, right? So whether you win or you lose, and you're gonna lose either way based on what you were saying. Stop buying time and make the decision that's better for the people.
Thanks for asking that. Let me clarify a couple. First of all, I said the primary thing is the welfare of the people.
Right.
The whole matter of the boundaries and the constituency, that's a secondary thing. I would hate to think that in the minds of some people, this is the number one metric that is driving. I would hate to think that in the mind of some people, this is the number one metric that is driving the decision. It dare not be that. You understand me? You feel me there, Daniel?
Right.
It dare not be that. But my mind wants to think that it is not the number one metric. My mind wants to think that it is too soon to make a firm decision. I think while some people think, I'm telling you, in the heat of the moment, when the storm is in the teacup, you always want relief. You always want to take a way out. And I have been doing stuff long enough to know that back off a little bit, with the right reasons, back off a little bit and give some time before you make. This is a monument. Let me tell you, people, this decision about either resettlement vis-a-vis relocation, resettlement versus relocation, is a monumental decision. And we are 3 months out. Usually volcanic activity that continues for some months, so I've heard. And other things. So the things are not, I don't know that things are at a stage where you can say, make a firm decision. I know what I'm inclined to do. I know what my feelings are, how I think through things. I know that you still have an active volcano there. If you kick the can down the road, seriously, because likely, if you play the odds, you can resettle them there and the volcano will not erupt likely for another 50 years, but that's not a guarantee. The volcano probably will not erupt for another 20 years or so, but that's not a guarantee, but it would be in somebody else's time. So right now, let somebody else deal with that, kick the can down the road, resettle them. But I don't know, while you can resettle them and not have to deal with the issue of what we are facing right now for within your time of leadership or whatever. I don't know that is the. I don't know, Daniel. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that to make a decision right now, well, it's a tough one. I wanted to say something about the vaccination, but maybe my time is gone. Definitely gone. Dr. Thompson said something this morning that is, I can't skip that over, and is very important. I've been saying all along, for my own reason, I actually, as I sit back and think, I have said from the get-go that my position is that vaccination of the majority of Vincentians and people all across the world, it's an eventuality. It's inevitable. As anything else that is lined up with power, I know that the association of the power displacement, this vaccine is going to happen. I know that. I've said it. Right now we're doing the drip. But enough screws are tightening. It has to happen, people. Sometimes we wonder, just like, get it over with, get it done with. The screws, and in the next couple of weeks, the screws will tighten even more. With the entire Greek alphabet, Delta, Alpha, Lambda, and others. I mean, that's going to happen. So that tightening is going to come. Dr. Thompson, call it right. Dr. Thompson, call it right. When he said, although the irony of what he said, because he, for some time people have been saying there's no full approval, and he and others have been saying we have approval, well, tantamount to we have approval. But this morning I heard Dr. Thompson say that we need to move to full approval. I heard Dr. Thompson say that. The implication of that is an admission that the current vaccines are not at full approval. Basically, that's what Dr. Thompson admitted this morning. We need to move to full approval. When I say his counterpart, somebody in the news, big in the news, Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo, who is quite an advocate, one of the strongest advocates for vaccination. He's done really well. He's a very reasoned man, very, very sharp, and he has been pushing the vaccination agenda. Well respected by people who are pro-vaccine. But he himself has gotten his vaccines and stuff like that, been pushing it for some time. But he also said something twice last week that I paid attention to. Chris Cuomo of CNN. And he lamented, he said, I can't get it. Why? Why is it that the FDA cannot give full approval? What is so long? So long we've had the vaccines now. And he was questioning and he lamented the fact that the failure, that's what he said, the failure to give the full approval. So he's saying the same thing that Dr. Thompson said. The failure to give the full approval is retarding the forward momentum of vaccination. So he said it, Dr. Thompson said it, and these are people who are pro-vaccine. That they are impatient now that the full approval has not been forthcoming, but they are foreseeing that that within maybe the next couple of weeks that the full approval will come. And when that full approval comes, please understand it, Dr. Thompson said it this morning, that's an aha moment because you will now have proper foundation to give more persuasive mandates, firm and legally applicable mandates. There will be no excuse now where you can say, oh, it's an emergency use authorization. You can't give certain, as Dr. Thompson said, you can't pursue certain courses of action when the thing is only in emergency use only. But once that full approval comes, then you are going to see why I have been saying you have to take the vaccine. The full approval gives a platform for certain mandates that cannot be implemented now. But the full approval will come. And when the full approval comes, there will be no excuse. You got to take the vaccine.
Doc, I thought it's very hard. I sent it to mine. I sent it to you. If I didn't, I'll send it to you when I get off. Where cartoon as per usual, in someone is in the sea about to go over the waterfalls, big waterfall. And a boat came out and the guy threw out a tube. On the tube is marked AstraZeneca. And the guy in his hands in there, he saw AstraZeneca and he said, I'll wait for the next one. Of course, you know what happened.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I've seen that.
Another one.
And then you say, well, yeah, I know. Go, but I'll let you continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's another one. Same concept. The guy said, but it's not approved. The tube is not approved. So therefore, he went over. He had nothing to hold on to. I am of the opinion that these are very interesting definition of this fully approved. Waiting on the next one, which you're hearing a lot of. In the meantime, the grass is while the grass is grazing, the horse is starving. That's how it goes.
There are many metaphors.
Right.
I
leave that.
You know, my own take is it's inevitable. So, I mean, it's going to happen. But I think most people, I probably have coming around to that conclusion. But some who have come around to that conclusion say, well, it's inevitable, but if I can hold out for when it has the full approval, I'll be more comfortable when it has the full approval, then I'm going with it. Some people are, and Daniel, I've been listening to you, and I really have to say I have a very high respect for the way you approach things and handle things. Truly do. And something you said in your usual calm way this morning, you didn't use the word vilification, but you said that people, they want their voice to be affirmed. They might not necessarily be conspiratorial conspiracy theorists and all of that. But when they have a questioner that let their concerns be affirmed and acknowledged. And I think Danielle was saying, and then you had to listen to people like Danielle. She's saying, look, there's people feel that. As a counselor, you know this. People feel like if you dissing them, and then they would push back and say, well, if their voices are not heard, if you're not affirming their concerns in the way they want them affirmed, and if you're not acknowledging things, then they're going to push back, and you're going to have a vaccine resistance, not from anti-vax people, but from people who feel like you're dissing me. When you call people classless for not taking the vaccine, when you call people stupid for not taking the vaccines and all of that for their heads, then what you're doing, you are entrenching them in their pushback. You have to be very careful. Watch your language. Affirm them. Affirm them. Affirm their fact that they want to think things through and all of that. Affirm them, though you might be impatient. But when you start vilifying and degrading people and calling classes and stupid and all of that and senseless and whatever, I don't know that this does the vaccination push a whole lot of good. I mean, we say things out of desperation, but we ought not to say these things because people become entrenched in their position. I know this. Once people become defensive, they will even defend illogical positions if to do otherwise would be to give you. People would defend positions. So don't call them names and don't put them in a position where they will push back because they will. I thought Daniel was really on point this morning. I listened to that comment in between all I was doing. I'm like, that's a real good comment. I have more to say, but it has to be another day because something that's bothering me is the unethical practices by professionals at the Mental Cato Memorial Hospital and other district clinics, people who have private practices and the things that they're doing to create artificial shortages to boost their own market share. And there's some things I want to talk about it's just not right. And you all remind me of this because it's getting, for about a year now, I've wanted to talk about this. I've never talked about it, but these quote-unquote professionals, you can't, Vincentians are not sheep for the slaughter, especially when they're in health crisis. They're not sheep for the slaughter, and it's just wrong. It's just wrong for you to be doing this, and you know who you are, a bunch of you. It's just wrong for you to be creating these artificial shortages to drive traffic your way. Your pockets are being lined when people are in health crisis. And you call yourself a professional. I want to talk about that. You'll remind me. Have a good day.
All right.
Good day.
Take care, bye.
Guys, before I go, I want to read a message that was sent to me by a very good friend of mine. I might go dark, so just allow me, okay? And I'm the kind of person, I read something that somebody is correct. She said, let me put it. She was correct. I think of thoughts. Maybe it says, you made a statement this morning about government sending people out to school shelters because they're homes in the red zone and they can clearly see the danger. That's not true. At the shelter, they strongly advised us that people living in the red zones have not been given the all clear. They will be considered at other shelters to allow for exams, etc. at the secondary schools. So when people in the orange zones went home, those remaining were tested and placed at WP, etc. Well, I may have said that, and if I did, thank you for the correction. But the point I was trying to make, though, was that there are people living in the red zone, right? We can't dispute. We know. I have a friend. What you name now? With the boat ride, man. We name now.
Randy.
Randy Spartan. Yeah, he going back home. Many whole family and them, and other people I know. My point is that whether the people decide on their own to move back out there, the government should not allow it to happen. The same way the government have been saying you can't go past Rabaka, Dry River Bridge because the area is red zone. It's the same way. The government should stop the people from going home. I understand, and I understand what Dr. Richards just said about, when you live in a shelter, you just want to get back home. Listen to me. I've traveled and I've stayed in the best hotels, like the best hotels. But at the end of the day, nothing beat coming back home to my own bed. I understand and I get that. Find a solution. That's what we paying you there for. Strategy, making policy decisions, and protecting the people. Find a solution. I don't care what you say. The people them could whatever they did, whatever decision they made on their own to move back out there over the dry river, OTR as they call it. Make sure that they don't get back there. Find some way you have to convince them. What the amount of people that I see in those videos of coming out the house and people look at Kenton Chan's video, did a 1 hour thing. A woman who said that if it's this woman place, she kitchen the outside, she go outside in the middle of the night, she toilet the outside. If you see the water cut the rain, the river come down. It's horrible. The government have a responsibility to protect the people. And if that protection means saying, listen, up there is off limit. We have to move you somewhere else until we decide what we're doing. As Stephen said, the same way they build a temporary school on the tarmac because the flooring dropping in for CW Prescott, do the same thing. People are going to die. Their lives will be taken away. We saw it happen in 2013. When a little bit of rain fall, we didn't even know the amount of rain that fell up here. All we saw was some lightning that Christmas Eve. Now it's worse. All the stuff that in the mountains from Sufri up there come down. The scientists told us about it. They said, listen, the dangerous part is ahead of us for people in that area. When the rain falls, what is up there to come down? Why are we waiting until we lose someone or family or families? Please make that decision. If you don't know what I mean, go on social media. You can see all the videos them. Video from last night. Someone just sent me. Please let us make the decision. Don't wait until after. And I know there are economic issues, there are all kind of reasons. I know. Find the money. Find the money. These are people's life. And those will say, me not move. Me not going nowhere. This is me born. They go say that. Move them. Act in the interest of the people. It is bad. It is poor leadership to allow people to stay up there in that condition. To stay there when their homes will be destroyed. To stay there when their lives will be taken away from them. To stay there every time. I don't know how some of them just sleep when they hear a little bit of rangers on the house. How do the people who are in power sleep when night come, when rain coming down on the house, when they know people living up there in that condition? Montgomery Daniel, yes, you, us. How you just sleep? Knowing that rain come and your constituents are living in the river. How do you sleep? Us. The other issue, you see these variants that are now in Barbados. Let's treat this as serious, as important as we should. This is very, very, very dangerous. Listen to me. Barbados been through all kind of things. They went through it all, and they decided that the amount of people, things were beginning to get back to normal, and instantly, bam, these variants appeared in Barbados. On the weekend, the government announced that there are several variants, the dangerous variants are in Barbados. Instantly, they made a decision to lock down Barbados, go into curfew. Well, we clearly see We ain't going to lock down St. Vincent tight like a drum. We clearly see none of that. We ain't going to close. We ain't going to shut the airport. We clearly see that nothing will happen. We have a responsibility to ourselves. Okay? Please. I intend to take the vaccine. I intend to think. Please. There are several different protocols. One of them, which gives you 95% protection, is the vaccine. There are others which are wearing your mask, social distance, washing hands, and all of that. Take one. Please, the minute that lands in St. Vincent, as someone said, I think it's Stephen said, and these things start mutating, please, it will run through St. Vincent. I mean, I have looked at the videos with the last press conference from the W Health Organization, and they spoke about these variances. Listen to me. Dr. Thompson used our word this morning, and he said, if that gets to St. Vincent, it will walk stick. And I said to him, what I mean, please, because there are a lot of young people who don't understand what walking stick mean. Walking stick mean it will run, it will literally destroy this place because we are not following the protocols. We're not taking the vaccines. People still gathering in large groups. People still liming. People still having parties. They ain't wearing the mask. They going protest. Nothing wrong with protest. They ain't taking the protection while protesting. Nothing. Dr. Thompson said it will walk stick in St. Vincent. Please keep your eye on what's happening in Barbados. Please. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Catch you tomorrow morning, God's willing.
Time for us to hold down the morning with a new kind of pump.
Yeah, baby.
You're in the Shade Room with Jill and DJ Flex.